Guess what, everyone? We're live. It's Actious Al and Pastor Pete save the world, and we're here. I guess we're going to do some world saving. It happens every time we save the world, and gosh darn it, we need to go and save it again. That's the way it goes.
Yeah,
it's you guys. You keep messing it up.
we do. Should we see who's
We
here?
leave you a week. We leave you a week. And we
Yeah.
have to save it again.
All right, let's have
Cheers.
a look. Let's get them in then. Let's fade them in. Let's see who's here.
Yeah, a bit of caffeine does wonders. So we've got
Yeah,
see who's there. Yeah, we've got some good conversations. There's quite a lot to get through tonight. So we'll see how we get on.
So, can you see that, Pete?
Yeah, evening all I can see. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's Dixon of Dock Green, isn't it?
Yes, evening all.
Yes.
So it looks
Jack
like
Warner. Yeah.
We've got Kate and Trevor and the Pixel Priest. So that's cool.
So that's who's here live. I know a lot of you listening on playback, and it's not live. So hello to you as well.
Absolutely.
Good to have you along. We'll be reading your comments. Make them really, really nice. Because
I did actually.
we're sensitive for little flowers.
You tell everybody that every week, and we never get any comments.
What?
Actually, someone put a comment in one about 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
He said that they actually came from Wallasey. So all right, cool. So that was good.
No, but
I got
we
that
say we
today.
never get any comments. It could be 3 years from now.
Well,
Could be 10
be.
years from now.
It could be. But yeah, just saying.
It could be 20 years from now when YouTube has taken over the world government.
We got a comment. That's what I'm saying. That's just worth
We could go,
it.
that's worth a celebration.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cheers.
So yeah. Anyway, events. So
Events.
to let people know that we're doing this thing,
Yep.
I create an event on Facebook.
Well, that's
And it's
sounds reasonable.
Yeah, so that everyone knows it's happening. Then they can join in. So interesting.
Everyone who's on Facebook knows.
Well, yeah. Right. Anyway, so I want to talk about categories, just to get this out of the way,
Yes.
'Cause-
Okay.
I've had to.
Let's clear the air.
Yeah, well, we need to do this because I think we're going to set some expectations, and it's important. It's important to sort of say, don't get your hopes up, all right? Because normally when I set up an event, it says what kind of category of stream are you doing,
Right. Yeah.
and it never really says talk show or something like that. It says talk show podcasts on Twitch,
Yes.
and it says entertainment on YouTube. The only thing I could select on Facebook was comedy. So Pete, yeah,
Comedy. Right. Yeah.
you better be funny.
Okay. Listen and learn.
Yeah, okay, I'm listening and learning. So,
Not you. I mean, what are the great comedians? Bob Hope. Oh no, he's dead, isn't he? Well, yes.
wasn't he great?
He was good. Yeah, but the hopes run out. I think that's about it for now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So let's just do a quick check.
Yes.
Everyone, give us
He used to tell jokes.
did he? Let's just have a quick thumb up in chat just to say that we sound all right. We don't sound mad. The audio levels are about the same for both of us. And watching you for the first, hello and welcome to Trish.
Yes.
Hello.
The first time's always the best.
Yes, and we've got Malcolm's come in from YouTube. Nice to meet you, Malcolm. Hopefully you'll be able to contribute tonight. A huge amount.
Yep. The people in chat are part of the show, so
You two are very Morecambe and wise.
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay, that's a good question. Which one of us is Morecambe?
well, I mean, both are quite good, aren't they? Even the meanings of the word, one can be wise, and the other one's a nice seaside town. So,
Is Morecambe a nice seaside town?
well, it's a seaside town. I've never been there.
Oh,
to be
right.
honest.
So you've never been to Morecambe?
No, I've never been to Morecambe, either the man or the town.
I went out with a girl from Morecambe.
Oh right.
Didn't last. Anyway, so yeah,
Yeah. You see.
it's an interesting place to try and get to. You've got it's almost like one way in and one way out. It's a weird place, but yeah, there we go.
What the girlfriend or the?
Let's stop there.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a comedy night, right? Yeah. Need to clean up my act.
Mate, you're a vicar. You can't make comedy like that.
I don't know what you were thinking. That's the issue.
I was
That's the issue,
talking about
ladies and gentlemen.
it's a weird place.
It's interesting, ladies
it's a
and
weird
gentlemen, where
place to-
people's minds
Look,
go.
it's a
isn't it?
weird place to get to. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. But we've got some new
Moving
people.
swiftly on.
New
Yes.
people in chat. So yeah,
Bring me sunshine.
yeah. So it'd be interesting
That's
to know.
Morecambe and Wise.
Right, listen. It'd be interesting to know what chat think. Am I Ernie? Am I
Yes.
Eric? Is Pete Ernie or is he Eric?
Yes.
So I'd like to know that. Well, at least from Kate's perspective, because she's the one
Arsenal,
that suggested that we're like that.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So go on then. Have we got something to actually start the show off?
We're going to talk about something very interesting because, it's one that was suggested from the chat, from someone watching, and that's to do with that caterpillar.
Yes.
Now, I mean, it sounds like it's not very serious, just putting it like that, but this is a serious issue. It's the court case between Cuthbert the caterpillar and Colin the caterpillar, I believe.
Yeah.
Although there are others are available. That's part of the problem. Marks and Spencer have been producing for, I don't know actually, decades, a cake called Cuthbert the. Is theirs Cuthbert or Colin? I'm getting confused there.
This is M&S's is Colin.
Colin, yes. So Colin was done by Marks and Spencer's for many years, but then of course because it was so successful, other supermarkets make a similar cake.
Really?
Is that allowed? I mean, this is intellectual property rights.
Yes.
People. So I guess they can look different, they can taste different, but the concept can still be the same. It's a caterpillar cake. No, it's not just, they also look similar, because I've seen, I have.
Do they not actually look identical? Is that the point?
Well, I don't think they look quite identical, but they look so close that you'd say it was copying. Not a copycat, but a copy caterpillar.
No.
Now, the, you see, look in the chat, just breaking off in the chat, Alex is more like Wise. That's because I'm wise. You see, that's
and I'm more like Morecambe.
yes, but
Actually, I'm quite pleased about that.
you're a
Wise,
fan, are you?
Because Wise was kind of like he was the.
Oh.
See, Morecambe was the funny one.
No, but you
Yeah?
see,
And
see,
Wise was there just to fill it. He's like Morecambe was the brick. Do you know what I mean? And Wise was the mortar.
right? Okay, I think I get
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but originally when they, I've read their biography. Well, when they first set out, it was the other way around. They were sort of put together. They didn't put themselves together.
Yeah.
And Ernie Wise was a singer originally, out in doing variety, out in the clubs and things and music halls, and they were put together. But then, true story, Eric Morecambe's mum
Yeah.
went to see the agent and said, "Look,
Did she have a word?
yes, she had a word. Said, look, my son." Apparently, the phrase used, "My son is something special. He's funny," and so they did. They tried it round the other way, and the rest is history.
Didn't what's her name? Victoria Wood. Was it Victoria Wood? Did a thing for
Victoria Wood.
like
I
Victoria
know.
Wood. Do you
I
know
know.
who Victoria Wood is? Yeah,
I know Victoria Wood.
Yeah,
I know
very
her
good
Earth.
female comic. She died a couple of years back, I think. Probably 8 years ago now, but it seems like a couple of years ago. Yes, very, very good comic. I thought because she's a really...
I'll be singing later, just responding to the chat. Yes, a medley of my greatest hits. Yeah. What,
Are you going to sing us out tonight? Oh, yeah.
of
Okay,
course,
yeah,
yes.
okay, yeah. Yeah,
Give
so,
me sunshine all the while.
Yeah, so she's a very good actress as well. But I think she did a Morecambe and Wise film. Anyway,
Oh, did you?
let's get back to the...
Well, we've got our main topic. I mean, it's very interesting, isn't it? Because it's this story of the caterpillars, because it seems funny because they're funny cakes aimed at children. You buy them for children's parties. Now, I must have eaten them. I don't remember doing so. So that shows you how good they are. But and also we've had them in our social supermarket. But it's actually very serious because there's an ongoing court case, isn't there?
Yeah, sorry, just carry on talking.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm sorting out
oh,
the
you sorted this
screens.
out. Okay, well, I'll continue. So,
I tell you what, shall I fire over the Guardian report you want to talk
yeah.
about?
There's just to set it up. This is so we're not just going to go through all the legal niceties. We're going to be, paying attention to the important bits.
Right, just shout me
The
when
cake.
you want the page.
I'll tell you when it comes up. Yeah.
Oh, you want it? You want it?
Oh, ready for it now. Sorry, yeah, ready. Yeah,
There you go.
Right, so there you have. You've got a picture of that's me playing with the cake, as you can see, and Marks and Spencer's and Aldi. It says loggerheads over a cake. What's at stake behind Britain's love affair with the confection? Now, until this story, I'd never heard of it, but of course, I must have come across it. It just didn't raise itself above my horizon. I wasn't interested in it, so I'm not sure that love affair of all of Britain is quite right. But anyway, it's been very popular. Colin the Caterpillar first darkened M&S's shells in the autumn of 1990. So that makes it 30 years.
That's a long time.
Nearly 31 years. Mere weeks before Margaret Thatcher stood down as Prime Minister. Well, it's unlikely the two facts are related, but you never know. They make that comment as well.
Yeah.
I made the joke before them. I got in before.
Oh, okay.
Right, the symbolism was obvious. Here was an anthropomorphic chocolate sponge log ready to hold the nation's hand through the coming decade. Well, this is, you see, Alex. This is where the. This is
the Guardian, isn't it? Yeah, I think the Guardian's going to have a stab at the right here. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, this is the comedy.
Yeah, go on.
It's comedy gold. This
is it.
The lady wasn't for turning. The new guy wasn't for turning into a butterfly. See what they did there? This is amazing.
Yeah.
I must buy the Guardian. I didn't realise they were so clever.
Yeah.
In a confusing and fast-changing Britain, Colin has been a continuity figure.
I think I've blocked the Guardian on Facebook so I don't get any of its stuff. Go on.
Yeah. The stubbornly larval national icon.
Yeah.
You see, they're so clever. Has been at the centre of a row this week on Thursday. So this isn't recently. I can't remember the exact date. This is a couple of weeks ago. It reported that M&S had lodged a legal complaint against its discount rival Aldi, whose Cuthbert the Caterpillar, it claims, besmirches Colin's good name. It's sad to see Colin dragged through the mud like this, but he's always been a quietly provocative figure. I would just say this way. Notice the Guardian or writer here can't resist writing in a sort of jocular fashion because it's a kid's cake. But really, if it was something else, if it were, I don't know, a tape measure or just some other product that didn't have an amusing little face and things and an alliterative name, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd respond like this. Anyway, as it usual, they go on. It boils down to class. Colin is the perfect example of that faux egalitarianism beloved of Middle England. Supermarkets are one of the many ways in which we stratify ourselves, and it follows that their familiar products are ambassadors of a certain way of life. Just as a side here, it used to be that Marks and Spencer was so well regarded that but some people you couldn't even criticise it, and they were sort of, I guess, like, but you get attached to certain brands, don't you?
Yeah. Can you read that?
That's fine. Keep it like that. Yeah.
I don't know if chat can read it or not. Well, we'll find out. Anyway.
Colin the Caterpillar, you think, popping him into the basket. There's something we can all get behind. It's misleading. You know what you're getting with a Colin. A chocolate casing, Smarties, encrusted shell, soft, safe sponge. But at £7, he is a bit of an exclusive cake. Quintessentially, sorry, I'm going to say the last word correctly. You have to say quintessentially Tory.
Yeah.
Like that. You gotta say that.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to say like that. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Right.
All the same, there's no disputing that he represents a high point of British treat design. Yes, from his slightly too thick white face down to his little white shoes, wherever there's a colleague leaving, a friend's birthday forgotten until the last minute, an ever so slightly awkward child, there you'll find Colin, a staunch chocolate yeoman, as staunch a chocolate yeoman as you could hope to meet.
Do you know what? I must have had a sheltered life.
I'd never come across it.
Yeah, maybe it's, I don't know, chat sees about this. Hang on.
Well, has anyone in chat had it?
Well, Kate's just asked, begs the question, why have they not complained about other stores, as to do Cyril?
Yes, there are several others.
We'll get to that. We'll come to that. We will come to that. Absolutely. Actually, the interesting thing about the price is that it's exactly the same price as Tesco's entry for the Caterpillar.
I don't know that there's that much to say here.
All right, okay, let's move back to
I think we've mined the comedy depths of that particular article.
See, Bravo's put something in. Let me switch this back so we can bring.
Yeah, let's have the chat so that we can continue the conversation. That'd be great. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Tesco do want to in the same colour box as Colin. You see, this is where it becomes. It's not just suspicious. It's so obviously a copy. And if it's been, what is the correct term? Trademarked, I think. Is that the right term? With copyright, that's written stuff, isn't it? I think I'm right. It's so you've got some intellectual property, a design that has been trademarked. I think that they. I mean, Colin obviously has lots of legs to stand on, but I think they do have a leg to stand on. See what I did there? You see, I'm bringing with me the Guardian article vibe here.
Okay, just before you go on, I'll just miss someone in chat.
Oh, have you?
A mate of mine called Major X.
Ah, right. Yes. Good evening.
He's a friend of mine on Twitch. Yes, he's a follower of Vicarious Big, like I am. You know, the chap that I mod for.
Well, he's been on here as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't know if he's going to pop his head in tonight, but Major, he plays a game that I play with him as well. So it's good to have you here, Major.
Yeah.
That's his Twitch handle name. You know.
Yeah.
I won't disclose his real name. That's for him to do if he wants to.
Is it Colin? Is he actually Colin the Caterpillar?
No, he's not. He's not. Go on. Anyway, okay. Carry on. So we're talking about trading.
Well, I'm just saying they do have something to go on, don't they? I mean, in that it was theirs first. The others are so obviously copying them. The question that I would say is, the thing that it's just it doesn't seem that inventive a design. What else would you do? You get basically you've got a Swiss roll and dip it in chocolate. That looks like a caterpillar. I don't.
No. Right, hang on. Right, okay.
You're claiming something different. Do you have inside knowledge into the manufacturing
The thing
process?
that makes this slightly more complex, and I think I get the concept that, look, M&S came out with a caterpillar, called it Colin, put it on the shelves, sold it to its customers, and that's fine. But sure. There's another thing that makes this slightly more complex, is the fact that a lot of the funding that comes from Colin the Caterpillar goes to charitable donations.
Ah, right, okay.
Right,
so there's another layer to this.
There's another layer to this cake.
As there is to...
In fact, Revo, I'm doing the special code to Revo.
Oh, secret signs, yes.
Secret signs to Revo.
That shows that Anxious Al is a part of the mafia? No. What's that one?
Anyway, no. Leave that. It's just Revo knows.
Chocolate cake supremacy.
Meeting. Pixel Priest knows what that means. Right, anyway, but there's another layer to this, and that's the fact that that's happened. But that being said, if that's always been the case, what's the score with all of the other vendors, if you will, doing these kind of copied caterpillars?
Yes, are they giving proportion of their sales to charity?
No, it's not. That's not relevant. The relevance is, for me, in this instance, is the fact that Marks and Spencers have gone after Aldi on this, because Aldi have what I understand to be is an exact replica of the M&S cake. So,
right.
So, my head, my noodle, giving it a bit of thought here, is that there are supermarkets fit into kind of categories, don't they? Like, you've got your main four, which is Tesco's, Asda, Sainsbury's, and Morrison's. So they're your main four, and then you've got your, should I say, more budgety type supermarkets, which is going to be Aldi and Lidl.
Yeah.
And then you've got your top end stores, which I believe are Marks and Spencers and Waitrose. That's how I see that supermarket thing. I could be wrong. I could have missed something, but that's how I see it.
Yeah.
So if you want to do something maybe a little bit special because you think, I don't know if it's true or not, you're going to buy a better quality of food or better quality of product, you're going to go to those top two tier. The top tier, which is going to be Waitrose and M&S.
Yeah.
You're going to go and buy something special. You'll get it from them. Yeah, of course. What do we all do from M&S? We all buy our pants from M&S because they make the best pants.
Of course, yeah.
All right, so your generalised stuff, I think, both dry goods and whatever, probably hitting the top main four. And then, your budgeted stuff, which is probably just as good as everything else, pretty much is, if you're on more of a budget perhaps, or I don't know, or maybe you just love those really crazy aisles in Aldi and Lidl where you go in and you can get like a welding mask and, a pair of wellies and a camping stove. Do you know what I mean? Because when I first went into one of those shops and saw them, I thought this was amazing. But that's one part of this. So if you buy a Colin the Caterpillar cake in a box and it says M&S on it, like, you kind of know what you're getting. Now, I don't know where this works in the psyche of people at parties. Oh, look, oh, look. Here we go. Now, bearing in mind.
Yep.
Bearing in
What have
mind.
you got there?
Okay, hang on. Well,
I can hear the clattering of cutlery.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come
crockery.
to. There's a doggo here. He's after something. Yeah, look, off he goes.
Hang on,
Right, we'll sort that out. We'll sort that out in a sec.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, I've had my delivery.
Keep it hidden. Keep it hidden.
It's
Keep it hidden.
it is hidden, isn't it?
Good, yeah. Right. Okay. So where was I? Yeah. So let's for example say you have a birthday party for your son.
I have a birthday party for my son. Right. I'm
Who's
thinking. Yeah.
7 years old, and
Okay.
you know I don't know where this works in class, where this works in whatever, but if you present a Colin the Caterpillar cake on the birthday spread, you know, and the mums and that turn out and think, oh, there's a Colin the Caterpillar, that's a good caterpillar. That that's all they've got the M&S caterpillar there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how astute mums are. I don't know. Like I said, all of this has just gone way over my head. I didn't even know it existed. Mm-hmm. But if you present an exact replica of the same caterpillar, then people don't know what it is. Now, at least if you buy what was it?
Cuthbert.
What is saying? No, what was the other one from Tesco's? What was it called? Cyril?
Cyril, apparently, yes.
Whatever that is. So if you buy that...
Asda, they say Asda.
Asda.
Kate says Asda, yeah.
Kate says Asda's one is Cyril. If you buy a Cyril, then you might say, oh, that's a Cyril one. I mean, maybe it's a game amongst party goers. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. But I think there's an issue here that you buy a cake, and I don't even know. Is there a price difference between the two? I assume there's a price difference between the two.
I haven't done that research. I don't know. Maybe people do know.
Yeah. But is there a price difference between the two anyway? So for me, that makes it difficult for people to know what they're eating. That's one thing. And again, it's all about quality and things like that.
Yes.
So,
but
what I don't understand is why M&S hasn't actually kicked the behinds of other vendors really because of similarity. Is it literally because it's identical?
The Cuthbert is Aldi. Is that right? Am I right in saying?
No, Cyril's. See, look at us. We're in
Colin is M&S.
Colin is M&S. Cuthbert is Aldi.
That's what I'm saying. Aldi,
which is being taken to court.
Yeah.
Cyril is Asda.
Yeah.
And Tesco's will have, I don't know.
Well, it may be something. Here's my theory of mine. Maybe Aldi, as you say, you've got your main. You say you've got your main supermarkets. You've got your M&S and Waitrose.
Yeah.
And you've got your Aldi and Lidl. So if they were confused with Waitrose,
I didn't put it quite like that, but yeah, I know what you mean.
If they were confused with a Waitrose product, maybe not so much. But if you're going to confuse an M&S product with an Aldi product,
do you think that's where M&S are coming?
I don't know. It's possible. It could be that's why it's a particular branding issue. That's why they've gone after this one, because it was besmirching was used in the Guardian in the Guardian article.
Sorry, Asda's Clyde.
Oh, Asda's
Kate's on the Google now.
So Asda isn't Cyril. Asda's Clyde, beginning with C. You see, that is.
All right.
You'd think that's suspicious, but Caterpillar begins with C.
Yeah,
what can you do?
Okay, so who's Cyril then?
Yeah, who is Cyril? Cyril is a nice one, isn't he? Nice one, Cyril.
Don't know, but
nice one.
Kate loves to Google that.
You don't know the song? Oh, okay.
No. Am I too young?
Probably. Big hit. Nice one, Cyril. Who remembers that? Come on.
You know.
Take it from a football chant.
Oh, okay. So there's that. All right, but I think Tesco's is Cuthbert.
Oh, right. Tesco's is a mid-level. According to the Anxious Owl supermarket rating system.
Can I ask you a question, Pete?
Yes.
Have you got cutlery there?
I don't have cutlery. I just have a plate with
an
item on it.
So I think the Revo went off to get another piece of cutlery.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
And has clearly forgotten.
Well, maybe she doesn't want to leave me with sharp objects for too long.
Tesco's Curly. Right, anyway, so...
Well, who's Cyril then?
I don't know. Find out who's Cyril... do I have to Google this? No, Kate, can you Google it and find out who Cyril is?
Excuse me, just adjusting my sound
Yeah, you do
system
it.
here. Don't
you do it.
Don't concern yourselves.
Can you still hear me?
Oh, there we are. Back on. I can still hear you. Yeah. I was only one ear that had fallen out, but that was the start
of
a bad system. Yeah, go ahead.
I've also seen some memes from Asda,
Yeah.
not Asda, take that back, not Asda, from Aldi, kind of having a bit of a rib. And there we go. Look at that, how that gently flew in there.
Yeah, I must have been there all the time. Look at that.
Yeah. All right, let's show them. Let's show them then.
Oh.
Waitrose. See? So look what we've got here. Then if you can see, bit of cream on it. Look.
Oh, I'm going to try to tip it without losing any chocolate. There we are.
This is. Which one's this now? Well, I don't know which caterpillar. Look, this is Marks and Spencer's caterpillar.
So, can you tip it without it falling off?
Well, I don't know.
I just want to see the face. Oh, you can't see the face.
I haven't got the face.
Oh, I've got the face. Look.
Oh, have you? Ah, look at that. Have you got cream on yours?
Yeah. Look at that. Uncanny, isn't it?
Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can zoom that. Let me zoom that. Let's zoom you in.
Oop.
Okay, can you do it?
Oops. I have to pick that up again. Yes, that is. It could be based on me. I'm not sure, but that is the face. Got a nice face. There.
Well, I just thought because it's International No Diet Day.
It is, yes, but I forgot to mention that at the start. It is International No Diet Day, which we'll come back to the meaning of what that actually means. It's a very specific.
I want cake.
But that means you should really be eating lots of chocolate cake today,
Yeah, well, I've written on the
as much as you want.
look on the ad. I did say cake and more cake. So look.
I'll just try a bit here. Well, what part of it are you eating there? I would just eat. Have you had the chocolate?
I think I've just eaten a foot.
Well, I've just said a bit of the chocolate.
It's white chocolate. White chocolate, really sweet.
Oh, yeah. I just said the chocolate's fine. It is very, very sweet though. It's not. I thought it was going to be very weak, which it isn't. It does have a definite chocolate flavour. I can't really do it with it. I'm going to have to break an ear off.
This foot's enormous. Right, hang on.
Well, I've just got a little bit of the. If you want to see this is just put it on the fork. This just a little bit of the white chocolate from the face, but it is. I believe it's white chocolate. I'll just taste it.
That actually, for white chocolate, is phenomenal. I really, really don't like white chocolate. I find it way too sweet, but that's quite bearable. Right, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Listen,
this is very good for. This is very creamy.
This is a bit of the chocolate sponge.
Oh, right, yeah. I'll turn mine over. I've only got a bit of the actual sponge, but I have got some, so that's fine. It's like, it does look like a chocolate Swiss roll inside to me. That's just me. Right, let's just try this. So we're not, we've got different ones, have we? Or we got the same?
Same.
Same. So what did you say it was again?
This is Marxie's, mate.
This is the problem one, yeah. Right, let me just say something.
Right, so hang on, and I've just got this final bit to taste, and then I'll put this away.
The cake again, very sweet, but I don't eat that much sweet stuff. So, but it's a very light cake. It's very nice.
That is a quality cake.
This is very good quality. So, I think we can say Marks and Spencer's lived up to its reputation there. The normal chocolate is fine. Well, I think it's what people like. It's a little bit sweet for me. The white chocolate is very creamy as well. It is very good.
But that's not too sweet. I find white chocolate really sickly. But that's really good.
Okay,
so,
let's go.
Okay, unfortunately we don't have an oldie cake to compare it with.
But yes, it's good, yeah. I'll just keep eating, you can.
Kate's adding value to the discussion by saying that she'd prefer to make her own.
Yes. Fair enough.
I love that.
Yeah. Have you, Kate? Have you ever made a caterpillar cake?
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get back to the point.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Carry on.
That is lovely, actually. That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's quite big.
Don't worry, we're very civilised here.
It's about this big. It's a big cake.
Well, you can see it. I think people can see from the size of the head. Well, you haven't got much of it left there, but you can see the one ear. That's the face that goes on the front. So obviously that's smaller than the cake.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Actually, I like it a bit more. That's a really nice cake. Listen, so
what we can say, what we've confirmed is several times. You see, caterpillar cakes. Maybe they were already a thing, in culture, and Marks and Spencer's just tuned in on it. So maybe it's not really their invention.
That's phenomenal.
I don't know the details of the court case. What exactly are they complaining about?
On the basis of that, do you think we'd come to this gig really unprepared and just with a load of cake? I'd say you probably have.
Yeah. I think what we did is we came determined to eat some cake, and invented a good story to go with it.
Absolutely. Several times as my girls were growing up. Yes, there you go.
Yeah. But it's good. I'm just
so right, okay.
Just eating his face off now. So.
Nice. Okay. So quality cake. So questionable thing is, I think from what I understand is it's to do with the fact that the cake is identical. So I think that can be misrepresented, that people are eating a cake that isn't a cake that people know of because they've just launched it, so whatever. If the other cakes look similar, fair play. And maybe M&S can't go after the other supermarkets because the cakes aren't identical, and that's why they've gone after our Aldi.
Well, so I think they have every right to do it, and it does seem to me that they've got a point because it's because of their established brand, and this is, if something's damaging your brand by copying you, I think you have got a legitimate complaint. So,
but what I think is interesting to discuss, because I agree with you, I think Marks should go after Aldi. If Aldi are ripping off their products, exactly the same. You take them out if it's the case you take them out of the box. Yeah, you crack on. If it's the case you take them out of the box, you can't tell the difference. Then there's a problem there. So, but what I find interesting is the aftermath of fallout of people and their responses.
Yeah.
And the responses of people saying that, well, the Aldi cake's really nice, it's blah, 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 and they've got every reason to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I think that's really kind of interesting, isn't it? Because of the fact it goes in the face of the I don't know, is it Macmillan or some cancer trust that gets a proportion of the Colin the Caterpillar profits? So, I think that's not right.
It would be a nice, a nice gesture if they all were to give to the same charity, wouldn't it?
Well, I think that's what Aldi then launched something saying they were going to do something and make it for charity.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then I think they launched some sort of mean thing saying to M&S, and then M&S came back at them. So they're now kind of having a bit of a battle in social media. So let's see if I can find some social media stuff.
I think that would have been a better way to fight it, because they both win then, because they get sort of exposure of their product to a bigger audience, expand the customer base. Yeah. It was good. Yes, I feel full of energy now. But yes, the white chocolate's really good, really creamy.
Let me fire something else up.
I need some to drink now.
I know this is probably dwelling on, but why not? You're using an ad. Yeah, of course I'm using an ad blocker. I don't want ads. That's why I use an ad blocker.
Yeah.
I love that when companies say you're using an ad blocker. Let's find something.
We've got the next topic. Is also interesting, coming up in a minute when we've looked through these, and it'll get you staring at the screen, I hope, to try and join in. But what have you got there?
I might just have an image to begin with.
I thought you had some amusing memes.
Well, I do. Let me just copy this image. Open image in a new tab. That'll do. But at least it stops them from saying I'm using ad blocker. Well, I don't care. Right, just fade this across.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Cuthbert has been found guilty of being delicious. Yes.
Yes. Marks and snitches.
Yes.
So it's all gone down this free Cuthbert because he's done wrong and all this sort of stuff. But actually, there's an underlying business thing here, isn't there? But
yes. But yes.
What? I've got an underlying issue here.
Have you?
Yeah, it's a social one.
I knew that. Oh, you mean about this? Sorry, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a social one.
Yes.
Now, evening you all look like you're enjoying your diet. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it's International No Diet Day today.
Yeah, David, you turn up a bit
David
late.
David knows that, I'm sure.
Late here, mate. It's a bit of Colin. The cake. This is really, actually, I'm really amazed how nice this is.
It is very nice. I only had a little bit of cake, but I say it was a very good example of white chocolate. Yeah. Obviously this is serious research, David. I hope you weren't thinking otherwise. Yeah.
I've got an issue here, and I think this is a social thing. And I might be going well off piste here, and I might annoy people, but I don't care. Mm-hmm. Because I'm I'm quite patriotic. I like being British.
This is a patriotic moment on Anxious Al and Pastor
Yeah, I'm
Pete.
being anxious.
Save the world.
You see that the beta blockers I took before this episode are outrageous. The number, right. But Marks and Spencer's, for me, it's important. It's an important part of British history.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know when
Part of British? Do you mean history or culture? I mean, I don't know.
both. It's part and parcel of what we are, isn't it? People talked about Marks and Spencer's for years and years and years.
You go down Marks and Sparks, you get the best, right?
Absolutely. It's like there's something about that resonates, and it's taken them all of the time of them being in existence to kind of create that. What's the word?
Reputation?
Yeah. So they've created that reputation.
Yes.
And it's interesting that, although I'm not knocking European companies like Aldi or Lidl, which I don't believe to be British companies.
No, I think they are. I don't know what country they're from, but somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, and that's fine, and I'm all for that. I think that's a bit of a knock, really. I think on British culture. Really, it's something that it's something that I get behind things like Marks. Yeah, I was really annoyed when Woolworths closed many years ago. It was 100 years that Woolies was open. You know, it's always the place you got your pick and mix.
Yes, you did. Pick and mix.
Germany in it, yeah. Quite probably.
Yes, could be Germany.
I've got a problem with Germany, you know.
Yeah. Well, we settled our differences, didn't we?
Apparently so.
I wasn't talking about the war. I meant in 1966.
Don't mention the war. Yeah, okay, right. But there's something about, to me, it's being that I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and I'm very supportive of the things in our culture. I see it slipping.
It's all slipping away.
It is. Is this me? Is this my age? Is this me losing?
Are you no?
Because
are you being anxious, Al?
Well,
anxious for British culture.
Actually, I'm not. I think I've just had a massive sugar fix, so I'm all right. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm feeling anxious.
You'll be all right for a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll be good. Though I might regret it afterwards. But you've got things like the Meghan Markle conversation the other week, and people getting on there, all of that. And a lot of dissing for our royal family. And then
I bet Meghan Markle doesn't eat Colin the caterpillar cake.
She's definitely after the oldie cake. She is.
Yeah.
Oldie cake through and through. Mm. Yeah. So, but me, it's not. Is it me? Is it? I don't know.
There is a certain something about that her Britishness, and then something that you expect to be part of Britishness, even if you didn't. Or never shopped in Marks and Spencer's, apart from maybe buying your pants there.
Yeah.
You still, they're there. It's part of the high street, part of the British experience.
Yes.
And it's just falling away. I mean, we started. The high street, of course, moved away into little big supermarkets rather out of town, didn't they? Mm. When sort of 80s onwards, was that?
Yeah, I suppose
and
so.
At the same time, Marks and Spencer's flirted with. I don't know if they still do this, but they just have better quality control. But they started having their clothes produced in areas of the world where you could be paid less, and the quality went down. And I think they also sourced their materials. Now, maybe that they just put in better quality controls, because that doesn't seem to be so much of an issue now. But they took a hit at the time. I remember being reported. It began in the 80s, but
I'm
happy. Don't know when.
I'm happy to say that mistakes have been made. All right, but they happen in all areas of production, and there is corruption and all of these things that happen at all levels of businesses. But fundamentally, what do I say? What is it? What's the international aid company called? I'm trying to think of what it is. It's a big international charity thing.
Okay.
What are they called? I can't remember what they're called.
Sans Frontières.
No, did you just make that up?
Without Borders. There is something called that, isn't there?
I'm trying to think of what it is. Come on, it's often the charities. Revo, see if you can remember what the charity is.
A charity, an international aid charity.
Yeah, well, it's Christian. I think there's a link to Christian stuff as well. But basically, I remember.
Samaritan's Purse.
No, shut up. You're just talking rubbish now.
Samaritan's Purse is an international aid agency.
Oh, were you? Right,
They
anyway.
send boxes. They're the ones who send the boxes.
Let's see if Revo can pull me out of a hole here. Right, so the point is that there was a level of corruption that went on, and it was at the top. Mm-hmm. And I remember being at a church at one point where they were... is it Armistice International? Is it that? No.
Oh, I know the one you mean. Yes, it's not Armistice, is it? See, I would have said the word, but you said a word that close to it.
Yeah, and now I've wrecked
someone's gonna remember. It begins with A.
Yeah,
I know the one you mean now.
Anyway, it was them, and there was a corruption scandal that at the top, right, people were on the take, right. So when we were collecting, and I think we were collecting money outside in some buckets or something and for this particular event as well. And someone said, "No way, I'm never going to, give them money, blah, 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 corrupt, blah, blah, blah." Yeah, right. And, okay, and the reality was, because of two individuals at the top that took advantage of their position and managed to fleece the company, the rest of the company... Amnesty International, that's it, sorry. I haven't got a brain in me tonight. So, because of that, this guy is like just actually, he said, I think he even said, we used to give them money and now we don't give them any money because of a failing at the top.
Yes.
Even though there's hundreds of people that work for the company.
Yes.
That probably work their socks off day in, day out to try and do good. Now, I think that this is the same in lots of industries. And all industries make mistakes. And this is almost like a pitch for forgiveness, I suppose, that all people make mistakes.
Are you saying please forgive Marks and Spencer?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't care.
Oh.
I'm just saying,
right.
This is my viewpoint, is that mistakes were made. Mm-hmm. All right? Mistakes are still being made. And mistakes will always be made. But for me, with Marks and Spencer's, it's a quintessential British, call it institution, if you will. Yeah? Part of our history and part of our shopping experience, as you say, and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I think people nowadays are losing a degree of respect, even in all
Oxfam or UNICEF, other choices
your. No, it was the one. What was it?
I said Amnesty International.
Yeah, it's Amnesty International, darling. So people are losing a degree of respect for that, which I have a problem with. I have a bit of a problem with people losing a bit of respect because actually that's part of what makes us. This is what we are. Whether you like it or not, it's still part of what we are.
It is interesting that just the Britishness idea. It's quite interesting. There are certain things that you see as part of it, and it does change over time. But it's when something is, I mean, Marks and Spencer's here. It's still there. It's still going. But when certain brands disappear, or there's a big shift in culture, and it happens too quickly, you get a sudden change, including what it means to be British, and suddenly you don't feel quite as at home anymore.
Is that an age thing though for us? I mean, that's a legitimate question.
Well,
I think
it can be an age thing, yeah.
But I think it's the same with lots of things. So it's things like the royal family. I think that people had a lot more respect for them. And I think a lot of people are quick and easy to jump to comments like, that they don't really understand about subjects that they've got a comment on. Like, well, what do they do for us? Well, quite a lot, actually, believe it or not. And then things like the BBC. The BBC has been instrumental in broadcast all over the world, and it gets slated.
Certainly the World Service has relied upon what people around the world.
Most of the world buy content from the BBC. All right, now it's a whole debate about the TV license, all this sort of stuff. But people slate the BBC. They say, "Oh, it's right wing. Oh, it's left wing this week. It's right wing the week before." But the BBC is an institutional element of what is British. It's amazing. Yeah. I'm very proud of having these things, warts and all.
I would say that I agree with all of what you said about being proud of the BBC, and it was for a time, particularly the World Service, providing access to news for parts of the world where their governments weren't letting them know what was really happening, and it's been a stalwart of our country as well. But it seems to be now so biased. It's not that it's right wing or left wing. It's BBC wing. They seem to have their own sort of
okay.
culture, which may be, I suppose. I don't know. They're from a certain area in London and around that area where they all seem to come from and seem to go to. People in charge went to the same schools and know each other.
Sounds political to me.
And it seems like they become very biased, and that's disappointing. Well, I mean that's what it seems to me. It's for our discussion here. It's irrelevant whether it's true. It appears like that, so it's tainted the brand, and a lot of people see the same. Now that isn't so much of an issue to me in that I don't watch or listen to the BBC. I haven't hardly ever seen anything with BBC, but I use their website because it's an excellent website for getting news. So I still use BBC products, but I always, when I read something that's a news article, not if it's a school revision, because it's such a good site, it has everything on there. But if it's an up to date news article, I allow for the spin or the bias. Yeah. So, but it has tainted the brand. Really.
I mean, it's interesting because,
and so it taints your idea of Britain.
I mean, it's interesting because although I have this view of this side, if you will, of production when it comes to the Beeb, the Auntie Beeb, I have this view and a view. I mean, look, you can't fault it for its nature documentaries and the David Attenborough series. They're just off this planet.
I think the quality is brilliant.
Yeah. So and a lot of that.
It was the content I was talking.
A lot of that. But so I see it from this side, so I get to see it. But
because from Salford, right? Yeah. But who's in charge? That was right.
Yeah. Anyway, so the point I was going to make is that I'd heard from other people who've been into filmmaking and stuff that they can be quite difficult to work for.
Oh right.
So I kind of get where you're coming from, but then I think of this in cycles. So, you'll have a Director General at the BBC who will at some point disappear off. Hey, Vicarious Biggs here. Good to see you, my mate. So I think it goes in cycles. So when I think of like people making mistakes, whether they're financially driven or people making mistakes, whether it's politically driven or people make mistakes with cakes, whatever, there are lots of things that happen that come in from either political views, greed, corruption at all these levels. But I'm kind of forgiving because I'm hopeful, perhaps, maybe overtly hopeful, that it will sort itself out. But I still have this traditional patriotic kind of sense of like, Marks and Spencer's means something to me. The Royal Family means something to me, and the BBC means something to me.
Yes.
And I think that's my kind of thing. So maybe I get a bit overprotective when someone says, I'm going after Marks and Spencer's because, whatever. I'm going after this because I think, why? That cake's been around for 32 years.
Yeah, I'd
love to know how much support that's given.
Yes. In
fact, this cake's been around for about 32 minutes, and it won't be here another 5 minutes.
Even though Marks and Spencer's, I know are British, I didn't view them in the same way. I knew that they're sort of part of the landscape. They've always been there, but I never particularly, I wouldn't think of it as being patriotic to like Marks and Spencer's or to like them being there. It's just, they were just there in the background. Whereas, with if you're supporting the Royal Family, something else you mentioned, that's an institution where you say, no, that's part of what it means to be British, to support the Royal Family. It could be.
Well, Marks and Spencer seems to be on the British High Street for eons.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you've not thought about that, but maybe
it was to me. Well, it didn't seem that way. So it's just that they've always been there. If they were to go for whatever reason, if they made another mistake in their supply chain, like I was mentioning earlier, and they just can't hack it anymore, then I would think, I would probably think, it's a shame that they've gone. But, however, they were one of the earliest to switch or to include a very good website with good speedy supply of orders to their repertoire. So they got in there early. So I don't think they're going to have a problem. Them and Next, they together both got in very early.
Yeah, I always used to think that Marks and Spencer's website was rubbish, to be honest, and I don't tend to use it. But I don't buy a lot from Marks, to be honest, but I just, whatever. What was I going to say?
Use the app instead.
What was I going to say?
You don't have the Marks and Spencer's app on your phone?
No.
What sort of Britishman are you that you wouldn't do that?
I just go in and buy pants when I need them.
Oh, okay, fair.
When there's
That's enough detail.
When there's holes in my pants so big that I think
I said that's enough detail.
4 legs in them, then I realise I need some more pants. So I go to Marks and buy some more pants.
Yes.
Simple, innit?
Simple as. Simple,
innit?
So we don't have a conclusion to that. Well, we do we? You think it's patriotic to like. You feel it's patriotic to support Marks and Spencers. Don't bash them. They've built their brand, and I agree with you that they built their brand, and they should be able to protect it. So you can, the cake tastes nice.
Yeah, well, the cake's very nice. I wish we'd pop next door to Aldi, because where we are, there's actually Asda, M&S are right next door to Aldi where we are.
Yes, yeah.
So
okay.
we didn't have time.
They're probably throwing stones at each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah,
maybe next week.
Well, we'll get some updates.
We'll have moved on by then.
But I don't know, chat. I don't know what you think. Maybe you think I'm talking out of my derriere.
Yes.
But there's something about that, in a social sense, I kind of think, you know.
It's interesting to think of you, though, eating your Marks and Spencer's cake, wearing your Marks and Spencer's pants.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's sort of
in fact,
fitting, I think.
I'm trying to think of how much I'm wearing that is Marks and Spencer's.
Probably the entire outfit.
No, it's not. Just the pants. Right, anyway.
Okay.
I think the rest of it's Asda.
I thought so, actually. I thought so, looking at you.
How long have we been live? About 8 hours. Yes. Right, shall we move to the next topic?
56 years. We got it. Yes, we got that topic. Now, there's a website associated with this next topic, which is...
The Pinterest one?
Yes, it's the optical illusions one from
right,
Pinterest.
Okay. Just bear with me.
So, I was just searching for optical illusions because I wanted to know what worked. This show, it's a conversation show, so as we gradually build a live audience, it'll add to it. But we need something for people to join in with, and optical illusions is an interesting one.
You ready?
But if you put it up, it should be now. Yeah, so these are meant to be accidental. I mean, you could say some of them were staged, so they're meant to be accidental optical illusions. Now you look at this chap. When you first look, it looks like they sliced off the top half of him and caught him. The same as they have the fish, right? No. Who finds that confusing, or
it's definitely confusing because, of course, his jeans match the water. It looks like he's up to his waist in water.
Oh right, you say yeah. If you saw him as being further back, he was be in the water. Yeah.
Well, no, he's up to his waist in water, and he's just twice the size of everyone else.
Oh right, okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it's a bit confusing, but yes, in fact, he's standing there in his jeans, same colour as the water, and he's caught a fish. And he looks very pleased about it. So well done, that man.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
next
one. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Just pick one.
Oh, okay. Try that one.
No, this is of course it's by accident, but it is actually, it's not real.
Oh, okay.
It's not real. It's just that someone was trying to do a panorama shot with. And they ended on being on it twice.
Do I need to go back then to get to these next ones?
Yes.
All right, let's go back. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
So you can see the top half of the body; it was missing. So that's.
Where are we now? See, this is. Not
I think you've lost it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I've got to go back there.
Yeah, there we are. Right. Okay.
That's not right. Oh, it is right. Oh my word! Oh my word! That looks horrible.
Yeah. Now that, of course.
That is awful. That took me. I thought I was about to stop the whole stream.
That is a nice tender moment with the father kissing his baby. I think.
I know, but what are you
talking about? What I don't know what you saw there.
That is.
What
terrible.
did you think? Did you think? What did you think?
You know what I thought? Yeah.
I know exactly. I mean, that's why it was put there because it's meant to be, but accidental. I think obviously that one. I don't think you do that on purpose.
How about this one? Let's have a look at this one. Me when I'm headed in.
I don't know what that means.
In to deal with the code brown. It's a chicken's head. There are pictures that will make nurses.
Yeah.
Or they should.
I don't know what that is.
I don't get that either.
No. If you go back there, I thought there was some more just optical illusions.
Oh, okay.
There was one there.
You tell me when.
What the problem? This one, the one that we first saw. Yeah. This one we first saw. there were meant to be 112 photos with that. So maybe you click on the
so I click
the
on
real
that.
no the one well yeah, and you should be able to just if you click on the real, there's a there's 108 photos underneath it. It says. Can you see just below that? The picture's just below where it says 112. Yeah. I think that will then allow you to go through them. I don't know. Does it allow you to go through them? You scroll down. Right, that shows it. Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, that's that's just.
What's that?
Well, they've taken it and but it's like a screenshot, so it's got the loading thing on the cat's face. I don't know what that. Okay, these aren't as funny as I remember. That's maybe is that
That's
the
same one.
Is that Well, this is not really working. I thought there was. Oh my goodness!
These aren't optical illusions. These
No.
are bad photos.
So sorry, folks. I've failed there. In that this was a couple of weeks ago. I put it there. There were others, but I don't know how you find them.
Yeah, well, we won't do it on their time. Right, should we try the next subject then?
Yeah, let's go to the next subject. But the only funny one was the only convincing one was the man in the sea, river rather. Now this next topic that we've got there, this is interesting. It's another visual one, to do with countries. Now, when I was I worked as a science teacher for a bit, and when I was a science teacher, there was the geography teacher was from Australia. And in his office, he had a map to us the wrong way up. And it was quite disturbing seeing it. In other words, Australia was at the top. And the world looked entirely different. Everything looked the wrong shape. But there's something else about the usual map that we see, that we use to display the world, which is known as the Mercator projection, which produces a nice rectangular image of the world. But in order to do so, it has to distort the shapes of the countries and the size of the countries. Because if you think about it, the actual North Pole, which is just a point, has to extend across the whole top of the rectangle. So everything near the North Pole has to be stretched out wide. So the closer you get to the North Pole, and then the same at the bottom, the closer you get to the South Pole, if you have it that way up, because we're not Australian, then the countries that are there will appear bigger and bigger compared to their actual size. Or you could look at it the other way, the closer a country is to the equator, in the middle, the smaller it gets compared to its actual size, depending on which way around you look at it. And so because we're so used to seeing this particular projection, it's the most common way of representing the world, we think of countries being different sizes than they are. Now, I've got a couple of links. The first one is the size of it's the size of the largest countries, because maybe you won't find this
one
surprising. Yeah. So this is the
third. Just to try and sum up what you're trying to say.
Yes, go ahead.
If I may, is that when you look at pictures of maps?
Yes.
Or a globe. Globe?
Well, not a globe. A globe is the right size. So a normal rectangular map.
All right. We'll come back to that in a minute, because I know that isn't strictly true.
Oh,
well, it hasn't been strictly true, because But when you look at a rectangular map, the perceived size of these countries is different to their actual size.
Yes.
So it would look smaller or bigger, whatever.
Yes, depending where they are on the map.
Right,
now, these are the 30 largest countries in the world by total area. Look at the biggest one at the top. That's Russia, by quite a way, the biggest. Canada, interestingly, is bigger than the United States. I don't know if that was a surprise to you. But a lot of it is sort of islands and long, like peninsula type things stretching up north towards the north. But still, that's not the point. Canada is bigger than the United States. And then you've got the USA. China is slightly smaller. Now, China has inflated its size, bit of politics here, by absorbing Tibet. So it's actually not quite that big either. But Brazil, look at that, is down there as the 5th largest country. Did you realise that? I don't know. And then Australia comes in after that. India, look how much smaller India is, but it's still got a huge
Crazy.
number of people, almost as many as China.
Right, I'm going to do this.
And where are we?
Let's see if I can blow this off a bit for us. Right, so interestingly enough, when I went to Australia back in 97, only then did I find out that Australia is wider than London to Moscow.
Oh, is it? Right, interesting, yes.
And I thought, I'd never perceived that ever in my life. I thought Australia was this little blob down there in the bottom right-hand corner.
Because it's an island, you just think of it as being small, and it's not, it is not small.
Absolutely enormous.
Yes.
It is. It really is big. But when you look at it on a map...
Now, if you scroll down, this is one I think we should look at. Just in a minute, is Greenland there? So, Greenland. Look how big Greenland is. Right. It is pretty big. It is pretty big. But it's not as big as it looks on the map, though. So that's an interesting one to show on the map that's going to come up on the next link.
Okay.
So in the chat, I don't know whether you had the same thing. When I said this to my brother, who's a geography major at university, he's said that. Of course, he was fully aware of the sizes, and it was no shock to him. But to me, just recently, I looked at these. I thought, really, Russia's that much bigger, and Canada's bigger than the US. I knew Canada was big, but I didn't realise it was bigger than the United States. There you go. It just screws with your mind.
But it is landmass, isn't it? And no confusion with that and populations.
No, exactly. So then you get India is 1 point. I think China is about the same, maybe slightly more. It's still slightly smaller than India, but India has 1.4 billion people in a country that size, and China has the same amount.
Yeah.
Whereas America's got about 300 million in an even bigger country. So it just goes to show. And then Canada has far fewer. Now, if you again go down to Greenland, I happen to know the population of Greenland because I looked it up recently. Greenland, look how big it is, and yet it has
8 people.
56,000.
Yeah, not many people in Greenland, is
No, I mean, but paradoxically, just as Iceland is very green, Greenland is very white. It's very icy.
Yes.
Something went wrong with the naming there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. So where are we? We're not on there.
We're very, very small.
Yeah, we're too weeny. We don't matter, us Brits.
So that's really it. That's just an intro. Have you got the other link? Bring that up. That'd be quite interesting.
So there's a second page.
Yes, this link.
Oh, hang on. I think I actually managed to do that.
So if you want to have a look at this later, it's thetruesize.com, and you can play with it yourself later as well. But this map is a way of comparing the different sizes.
Shall I go? I'll go full screen on this.
Yeah, go full screen because you should be able to do it. So what you do is you can see the ones that have already been clicked, but you click on a country. So if you click on Greenland,
hang on, I'm just lowering your mic because you're closer.
Oh, sorry,
no, carry on.
Yeah, I lent in to see.
I'm just all setting audio.
All right, thank you. Yes, I lent in to see the map.
Yeah,
I forgot that it was next to the microphone. If you click, Greenland's up the top there.
Yeah.
If you click on it, I think you can just drag it.
Oh, yeah.
See if you can do that. See how big Greenland looks.
Yeah.
Can you click on it? Or does it do that?
Right. What do you mean? All it does is zoom in.
Oh, right.
Or zoom out. What do you want?
In that case, I think you have to write it in the search up the top
Here?
there. Yeah. You type in Greenland. Yeah. Yeah. Click on it.
Yeah.
And just choose it. There it is.
Yeah.
Right, now,
okay.
now, if you drag Greenland, see that's how big it looks on the normal projection you see. It's not that big. So drag it down to Canada, for example, you'll see it's a lot smaller than Canada. So down a bit.
Drag it?
Yeah, drag it there. You see, it's only that size, really. Unfortunately,
Oh, I see.
the how it works thing is covering Britain. So you could, if you just delete that, drag it over Britain. It is very big. Look at it compared to Britain.
Oh, I see. So what this is doing is it's showing the size it looks on a map.
Yes.
But when you compare it to the size of Canada. So if I leave that there, and now if I do Canada...
Yeah. You can then drag Canada. You can drag Canada around. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, this is quite clever, isn't it?
Right. So
how do I get rid of Greenland? Look at that.
I don't know,
It's
actually.
huge.
Yeah. It's so if you drag it up, it also changes shape, of course, because the bit of Canada which is near the North Pole stretches.
Yeah, it has to come back down again, doesn't it?
But yeah, if you bring down Canada, Canada's still, if you drag it down to the United States, still bigger. We should find,
Yeah.
but a bit bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, how clever is that?
Yeah.
And
Now,
if we go to Russia with it,
now Russia, yeah, Russia is bigger than Canada. There you go. Now, what an interesting thing is, of course, to drag Britain around because that's where we live.
oh yeah.
Uh,
How do I get rid of these?
maybe you can. Can you just press delete?
Oh no, right click.
Oh, right click. Okay.
So let's do.
Someone's already
United
highlighted some others down there. Oh, that what they've done is they put is that America over Africa? Because Africa, the continent.
There's United Kingdom. Look.
Yeah, if you drag it down to
Look at that. Look at
you
that
see, Britain is
compared-
actually pretty big. That's the
compared to Greenland.
yeah. I mean, it's bigger than you'd think, isn't it? Obviously, Greenland's a lot bigger, but Britain isn't as small and weeny as you might think. You see, I'm when I did this, I was surprised at how big Britain was. If you drag it down though,
But Britain's bigger than Iceland on the map, right?
no, really, it's
yeah, really
big.
is, isn't it? Yeah, that's crazy.
Quite big. And you can drag it down to Spain and Portugal, because these countries will seem smaller. So Britain, as you drag it towards the equator, will seem smaller. So look at all of Africa compared to Britain, or South America. So how about Australia, right down there? You see, well, Britain takes up a bit of it. But,
Here we go. Let's get rid of that.
yeah.
So why are these coloured?
I
don't need these.
they wanted you to.
I want to do Australia. And see if that's right.
Yeah, drag it up to Europe. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to see what this looks like next to. Actually, I can't see where Moscow is, but
yeah. Well, I think
there's United Kingdom, and that's how far it gets into Russia.
Yeah.
In its width.
Yes.
Against Europe.
And it's of course changed. So look how big it is compared with Russia. It's just how big is it compared to Africa? Okay, because Africa's a massive continent.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just huge. It's only because they're individual countries that we don't have Africa as being so big.
It's just almost as big. Yeah, it's almost as big as the US, isn't it?
Yep, it's really big.
And look at that. It's big. I bet it dwarfs Greenland.
Yeah, it will do. Yeah.
Look at that.
Mm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this is so you can try it yourselves. This is thetruesize.com because you just end up playing with it. So, what size is this? And drag different countries around because Egypt is massive. Brazil
Actually,
is absolutely
I think I might be able
huge.
to put that in chat. If anyone wants to have a play with that, it's entirely up to them.
Yeah, because that's
There we go. That should work.
and of course with this map, I imagine you can drag that little yellow chap and actually go and have a look round in whatever country you're interested in.
This one.
Yeah, if you just drop him somewhere, where would you like to go? Australia, the middle of Australia. There we are. You see.
Yeah, how is it? I dropped it right in the middle of Australia. There's nothing for miles, and yet there's two people here.
Yeah, or they're trying to mend the car with the camera in. They're walking back to get petrol. It crashed.
Actually, maybe they're the people in the Google car.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, yes. So it's I found that fascinating, and it just changes your view of the world. For me, the main thing was, in my mind, Britain was smaller than it apparently is in real life. So it's just how I was viewing it. But on the other hand, it makes a nice, neat triangle, that sort of projection. So I guess we'll keep using it. But yes, I mean a globe, because you can move it round. They don't need to do that same sort of distortion. But there are different ways of presenting it, aren't there? Not as a rectangle, but a series of sort of curved shapes.
What I was going to say.
Yes, what were you going to say about it? You said not quite.
Hang on, let me see if I can jack your mic back up. So what I was going to say.
Yes, you need to turn me back up again.
Yeah, you're right. You're not that far off. So what I was going to say is that apparently, it's going back to the British, the Empire.
Yes.
Is it when
Yes, the sun never sets on the empire.
No, but can I hear a dog snoring? Is he next to you?
Can't see him, but he could be down there.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
Or are you snoring? I don't know.
I was falling asleep.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently, maps produced of the world. There you go. I went to Scouse there. Maps produced of the world. In when at the height of the empire. The places of empire ownership, shall we say, were always bigger on maps.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And quite right.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's another stage in history. But it's Thanks for pointing out that world projection. Most interesting. No problem,
It
Dave.
is. It's. I just
quite surprising,
and
isn't
it messes with your mind as well. It's fascinating. Yeah.
But yeah, that was one thing. As soon as you said that, because that's one of the things that we tried to keep this real by Pete doing all the work and then me reacting at the time.
Well, I do. Yeah, I've done a bit of research.
He does a bit of
The
research.
technical side
and,
is all down to
and I
Al,
do all
so-
this bit.
Yeah.
And he says, right, I'm going to launch this on you.
Yes.
I've saved
So
that,
the base.
Dave, thanks.
Yeah.
No problem, Malcolm.
Yeah, I ended up playing with it for ages when I first discovered it. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Absolutely. So let's move on to the next one.
Oh
then.
yeah.
That's quite good.
We've got lots to get through. We've got some really interesting stuff, and we've got one of those quick fire sessions.
That's
coming
next.
as well.
That's
that
next.
is next. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quick fire conversations. So the idea is there's quite a few different sites on the internet which supply you with conversation starters, and I just pick them at random from these. Pick a few at random. Sometimes there's a theme, sometimes not. We've tried different. I think one of the ones we tried. I think the first time they were meant to be for a romantic meeting, but these are just general conversation starters. So you ready? Right. Quick fire.
Hang on. Didn't you do conversation starters last time we were live?
Yeah, I think I've tried to do it each time.
Did it work?
I liked it.
Did everyone else like it? Anyway, so before you start this, just
Yes.
I might have zoned out for a moment. Where did you source this from?
Well, I can't tell you. It's a website.
Oh, okay, go on.
But
Look, I can hear some tapping. Are you kicking your microphone stand?
No, that was moving the paper, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, it could
Anyway,
be me actually. No, I can't because I
the,
can't hear me. Go on.
What I was going to say was, I don't just pick them. They have hundreds of them, and I select out ones that might be fun for us to talk about. So, but the idea of this section is that you talk for a little bit and you have a whole few of them. So it's a different approach to the long form bit where we just take our time exploring a topic like we've just been doing. So quick fire conversations. 1. Is there a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? You don't have to answer straight away.
Oh, me?
Yes, or anyone actually. There's a saying. There's a pot. Well,
Yeah.
No. There you are. Right.
See,
Next one.
I just thought I'd probably just leave this for chat to smash you to pieces on this. Go on then.
Are you saying there isn't? There could be.
All right, there could be.
Yeah. I mean, because if there is, I believe you can't you actually fly over the rainbow to another world where it's not Kansas anymore? Isn't that right? No, that's the
Yeah, I struggle sometimes, chat.
that's the Wizard of Oz, isn't it? That's the story.
I've got to support this bloke. Look, I said we had to right at the outset, Pete. I warned you. I put down comedy. That we were comedy, and we had to up our game on humour.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So logistically, a rainbow's light. Yeah.
Very light. You could pick it up.
Who knows? I've never found the end of a exactly.
I've been trying. I keep chasing it. It runs away.
You're never gonna find the end of a rainbow because it's light.
What about the other end?
Depends on what you're drinking or smoking.
Yeah, that is the correct answer. Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, we get the correct
Quite a
answer.
sensible answer there.
Yes, the position always changes.
Yes.
Yes. It's just a conversation
Well, all right.
starter. We've started the conversation already, but we can move on.
Yeah, no, it's fine. All right, no, but we're fine. But we had a big caterpillar conversation. I had quite a lot to say on that. So yeah, come on, go on then. Little Peter can have his moment. Go on you go.
I've done it.
Next
Actually,
one.
you look very little now because you've leant back away.
Okay. Well, I'll
away
try
from the
again.
camera. That was too much of a shot. Right. That was just a starter. Now, next one. Right. So this is an interesting one. This is a
seriously now.
personal one. You ready? This is a personal question. Ready? Did you ever have an imaginary friend?
I don't think I did. I don't believe I did.
Well, maybe I'm imaginary. Who knows? No one had an imaginary friend.
Well, I think Malcolm responded to the previous question.
Oh right, maybe. Yeah,
but
this is the problem with the quickfire one.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting because, well, I'll come to the thing that I was thinking of, but this idea of an imaginary friend, lots of kids have them when they're they're younger, they have an imaginary friend. Sometimes it has an avatar. Like, what's that day? I had no imagination. Well done. That's what I like to hear. Yeah. Only the concrete real world. So sometimes it's a toy, isn't it? A toy is like the avatar for your friend. And my son did. They said. So what was?
Okay.
Let's see. There's one. What was the friend? Because you may not know. You may just have said it.
Well,
but
if you've got any more details on that, Trish, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I've got. If you don't want to share them, that's also fine.
Well, no, yeah, you can ask that. I think you're okay. I think it's interesting that most people have responded there saying no, because I get what you're saying. Is that youngsters?
I didn't have one. I didn't have one either. But I'm interested by the idea.
Yeah, youngsters having imaginary friends is something we all kind of know about. But actually, when I thought about it, I thought, no, I don't recall ever having an imaginary friend. So maybe I was weird, but actually the fact is most people have responded the same.
Now, because the reasons for it, why do you have an imaginary friend? There are many and varied, I think, reasons. Because you could talk to yourself for different reasons. You can presumably imagine there's someone there to talk to. So having an imaginary friend is just taking it to one step further, isn't it? When it gets a problem is when you really think that the imaginary friend is real. If a child has an imaginary friend, they'll sometimes say, "Oh, you can't sit there because Lucy's sitting there." Well, who's Lucy? Oh, well, Lucy's my friend. Well, I don't see anyone. And then you start. Sometimes people humour them and say, "Oh, okay, I won't sit there, and I'll move out of the way." Watch out, you're treading on Lucy's tail. What? She has a tail? Can't you see she's a dragon? That sort of thing. You have that sort of conversation. Haven't you had that sort of conversation with a child? What he called it Dillis, and he had to have dinner or something, and it's still no. Yeah. So so. You see,
Pete, I can hear your microphone. Are you kicking it? Is there something that's bashing it?
Possibly. Let me just move my foot away, please.
Yeah, because you keep kicking your mic.
Yeah. So that's the concept. Now, do you know the movie Harvey? I didn't put a link to this.
Is this a rabbit thing?
Yeah, a 1950 film. Starring Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
And imaginary. Now,
I thought you were going to say Puff the Magic Dragon then.
No. Now, because I've forgotten that there's a word for. He calls it something, and this Pookie or something like that.
What's it called? Film Harvey.
Yeah, if you look at Harvey, yeah. And the reason I mention that is there is in Irish culture, like the thing at the end of the finding the gold at the end of Rainbow, comes from Irish culture, doesn't it? Irish mythological culture.
Puka,
right. Now that idea of that puka, or however they say it, it's sort of different variations, is the idea of this invisible friend creature that follows people around. It's in Irish culture. There's some sort of creature that comes, and sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's scary and dangerous, but it always it has that sort of name, and it's a shapeshifter. So it could be a rabbit, it could be one of different animals, but it follows you around and it does things. So sometimes scary things, sometimes good things. In the movie Harvey, the main character, a grown man, has an imaginary friend, and they've obviously drawn it from this legend from Irish culture, because he calls it Pookie or Puka during the film, even though its name's Harvey, but he calls it that. Now, just spoiler warning. Now I'm going to tell you the end of the film.
You can't do that. I'm about to jack this image in. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Right. So yeah. Now, in the on the
Jimmy
left,
Stewart,
on the left there's Jimmy Stewart. That's the chap. Very good actor. He's good in that he manages to get his personality comes across. He's immediately likable in his movies. Now he, if you don't want to hear the end, here's the end of the movie. I'm about to say now. Yeah. In the end, they've decided that he's mad.
He died.
Just here's before I get to it. Just here is a spoiler. There's a happy ending. The movie ends with they deciding he's mad because he's got a 6'3" rabbit following him around.
With a bow tie.
Yeah, which doesn't actually exist. So yeah, they think he's mad. And he's about to have some sort of injection. So there's a drug they think that will stop. That you're convinced in the film this will stop him from having this hallucination. And the love interest, who's his woman friend who's taken him to the hospital, is waiting in the taxi, and she's been told that when he has his son, he will return absolutely to normal. And she's talking in the taxi, but she can't. They've dropped something. She's going to go and pay, and it goes missing, either the money or the whatever, or the means of payment, and so it causes a bit of frustration. And then during that time, it gives time for her to think, I don't want him to just be normal. And she goes and stops the injection. He comes back and he's really crestfallen because it's not his friend isn't with him, and he gets back in the taxi, and then suddenly the money's there, and she realizes that was the Pookie, saving him. And as they move off, the rabbit comes back and is with him, and they live happily ever after.
Nice.
That's it. But it's an interesting story. So even as a grown man, he had an imaginary friend.
Yeah, it's called psychosis, that, I think, Pete. Yeah.
Well, he found it useful, though.
Yeah.
Is it right? I mean, so that could take you on to another level. If someone is having this, say it is it's a form of psychosis. Say you see a friend, it's absolutely real to you. If they're not causing you any harm, if they're saying positive things to you, this person, does it matter? Oh, it's a question, honest question.
Do you know, it's funny you should mention this. This is probably a bit of a segue, really, but from your quick fire conversations. But
yes,
I'm just going to do a little bit of self-brand stuff here.
Go ahead.
So everyone who's part of Wallasey Unleashed, which is the channel you're watching now, is predominantly comes from a Christian background. There's 4 of us that run it. Myself, Pete, Elaine, my wife, who's own brand behind the scenes, is the Pixel Priest, and we've also got Jenny, who is the Reverend Vet. So I've got my own brand, which I'm planning to launch soon. And the other 3 of them, they're all clergy. They're all ordained. I'm just the husband of an ordained minister. So there's a Christian background here, but and we've all got our own kind of views, our own kind of pitch on brand and what we're going to be doing. Now, my brand's called Doggo Unleashed. Right, everything is linked kind of by Unleashed for the stuff that certainly I've been managing anyway, and I plan to stream on Twitch. And I'm going to be broadcasting to kind of a community a bit similar to Vicarious Big, who you've probably seen. And Majure's been part of that as well, which is streaming video games content, where we're hoping to build communities similar to this one. But mine's kind of predominantly age groups, probably 20s, 30s, 40s perhaps. And interesting enough, I've been playing a game called Hellblade, Suenna's Sacrifice. All right, now it's all about psychosis.
Right.
Yeah. And
do you have imaginary enemies?
Well, the reason I played it is because,
I mean, in the game.
Yes, she's riddled with it. Yeah, so it's actually it's very much born out of a Norse kind of Viking thing, and she's trying to save her loved one who's died, save his soul. So there's a lot of psychosis, a lot of voices and stuff, and it's incredibly well done. It is a kind of a horror, but the interesting thing is that I've been trying to sort of do a bit of research on things that people who might be suffering from things like mental health, people that might be suffering with things from like ASD, like I have, and all this sort of stuff, to see how this sort of links together, really to try and have a bit of an understanding of communities that I might be likely to get involved with. So this is an incredibly good game, and I think it got a BAFTA. I think it's about 3 years old, but they're coming out with a...
There are BAFTAs for games, are there?
Yeah, I mean, the graphics on this is absolutely outstanding. I mean, I'll find a picture just to show you, a nice image. But yeah, it's very, very it's very interesting. There was a lot of the company, which I think has just been bought out by Microsoft, were called Ninja Theory, and they're based in Cambridge. They're a British firm, and they were involved with Cambridge University, and they had people who suffered from psychosis to be part of the process of this game, and they're really looking into how they can use game technology to work with people with things like psychosis and mental health.
No, I can imagine. As you were saying that, I thought that would be fascinating because
yeah,
if you could have some way of maybe not in this particular game, but in a sort of therapy situation, if you had a way of manipulating the image until it looked like what you saw in your imagination,
yeah. But it's also
that would be
some people.
Then other people can see what you see.
That's the key thing, isn't it? And when it comes to things like mental health, when it comes to things like psychosis, where people are dealing with voices and delusions and hallucinations and things like that. I mean, these people have a really, really, really bad time.
Yeah, it can be pretty grim. I know.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
And we don't take this as a serious subject, but it's interesting you're saying about an imaginary friend, how this has developed. I mean, this is just how our program goes, doesn't it, Pete? But it's interesting, and what they're trying to do is tackle these things. And some of the people that are part of this process said, it's amazing for them. They found a real release, a nice release for people to get a bit of an understanding of what's going on. And mental health is, something kind of close to my heart, and what I want to try and work with people on.
Yes.
Actually, that's amazing that a games producer, and they're small, I think their brand still exists within Microsoft, but and when Sacrifice 2 comes out, of course, first thing I'll be doing is I'll be on the waiting list to buy that, and I'll be sharing that content on Twitch with Doggo Unleashed. But it was just interesting that, not to suggest that small, I mean, it's about imagination, isn't it? The Jimmy Stewart thing, but is that psychosis when you?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about that was 1950. That's it's okay. Psychology had been around for a bit, but just at that time, of course, there were lots of movies featuring psychological principles, weren't there? Hitchcock came out with a few movies as well. But yes, that's the movie. Did you have you were going to show a picture from the game? Or
okay. Let me just put chat back on.
Yeah. Jimmy Stewart, you see, it can be your way in the various movies to a difficult concept. There's I suppose, I think his best film anyway is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, which is a brilliant look at politics, actually. It's fascinating how he builds his whole reputation on the fact that he shot Liberty Valance. This time I won't tell you the end. It also has John Wayne in it, in a very, playing him the same sort of role as he always played. But with quite a bit of nuance. It's a good film. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And don't look at clips on YouTube which show the end, because that's a famous scene. So.
Yeah. This is actually the graphics for this. Actually, let me find a slightly different image because this is actually the graphics.
Okay.
I'll show this one first. Right. This is actually the title screen.
Oh right. I see the sort of
So that's the main character. That's Senua. Or Senua. Sorry, Senua. Senua. That's the character that you play, and you go through this whole thing. It's the only game I've actually played and completed. That's how drawn in I was. I didn't stream it.
Oh, you've woken up.
Hello, it's Deaky Dog. Hello, my boy. He's not been well. He's not been well.
Well, he won't be any better if he eats the cake.
Don't let him eat the cake. Whatever you do, don't let him eat the cake.
No, the cake is out of his reach now.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So
just need to reach down and stroke the dog.
Yeah,
there you go.
You do that. I'm going to pick up on chat anyway because Trevor's popped up the fantastic movie that is Drop Dead Fred.
I saw that he had that earlier. Yes, that was presumably referring to the imaginary friend, right?
Yeah, because that was the famous, the amazing Rick Mail. Rest in peace. Yep. Rest in peace. Yes, Drop Dead Fred. So,
yes, that's the idea of the imaginary friend's interesting. And the idea that I was trying to say is, is when someone has something about their brain which makes them out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
It can be very negative for them, but you mustn't assume that.
No.
Because it could be that if you try and remove that symptom, there was a reason for that being there, and you haven't solved the underlying condition or problem, so they needed that. So that was just my thinking on it.
I think the thing about
I'm no expert on this, but that was my thinking.
We'll wrap this up so we'll move on, because I think that's a whole show in its own right. If people fancy
fascinating
it,
subject.
People can, if you want anything specific for us to talk about, then shoot us a comment or something, whenever. But I think that one thing I recognised when I was diagnosed with ASD is that some of these elements, which I found difficult to understand about myself, once I kind of got that label, if you will, which I'm more than happy to have because it helps me make sense of my world. It comes with some positives, for sure, but it comes with some negatives as well. But don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Well,
and some of the elements, I mean, unfortunately, my ASD didn't give me like one of those brains where you give me two numbers and I can tell you the square root of infinity. Yeah, and
you can't.
The huge mathematical questions. Yeah, so I don't have that kind of ability. I don't see in colours. Things like that. But there must be something there must have been some gift from it. I'm still trying to figure out what it is, though. But there are things about it. And I think just understanding these things with people, I find it useful to let people know, especially if I'm very anxious in a specific situation that I suffer from ASD.
Yes.
Letting them know that makes them suddenly take a different approach to holding a conversation with me.
It is, yes.
But if you don't, you make this assumption that someone's just an arse. 91.
That's the square root of infinity.
Oh, is it?
I thought you would know.
I thought that was the year. Is that the year for Drop Dead Fred?
I don't know.
Whatever. We'll see
if it was the square root of infinity, that was quick. I like it as a good joke.
Yeah. He's got his big calculator out.
Yes.
But sometimes people just think you're a bit of a obnoxious, horrible person, or
right,
or whatever.
Yes,
but there's some justifications behind it, right? Anyway, go on.
People think that of me, but that's just because I am.
Yeah, that's because I'm convinced you're on a spectrum as well, Pete.
Well, I may be on a different spectrum, but
maybe
that's a story for another day.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say I think that we're all on a spectrum somewhere, and I think absolutely. But I think when it gets to a point where it makes life hard, being diagnosed with it is worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, we'll get. I think that some of that is useful. Some of this diagnosis is useful, but sometimes it isn't. I've got from my experience of working with people who've obviously from a pastoral angle, not a clinical angle, I've found that sometimes the diagnosis is as harmful as the disease, because it's for you it was helpful. For some people, it's very crushing. So it'd be interesting to talk it through. But maybe, as you say, that could be a whole show at least. Okay, remember
let's move on.
These are quick fire questions.
That was our dog Pepper sitting on his phone. No way. So the dog what? Pepper with its arse calculated the square root of infinity and came back at 91. That is amazing.
Look, that's an amazing dog.
Yes.
Now, okay, so remember, quick fire questions, even though we took a bit of a detour there.
Yeah.
Which is the purpose of the show. Okay, next one. How would you ensure, Anxious Al, ensure that a video goes viral?
If I had the answer to that, Pete, I'd have created it already. Are you after tips or what?
Yeah. That's the tips for my channel.
I think the thing about a video that goes viral is it has to be mega short.
Short, yep. Okay, let me make notes.
And it has to just be quite funny.
Funny? You're going for the funny, yeah. I mean, there's a chap who he has a YouTube channel and a blog called Ivor Cummins, and funny name, but the name isn't what I'm going to say. He has says viral video, and it's about viruses. Anyway, that's I like the fact that he was doing that. He was talking about viruses, so it's viral. That's a good way of ensuring that it's a viral video. Yes, people say short, shareable. Short and shareable.
It's chat.
We're all unique.
Is that Pete being funny again?
What funny? What are you talking about? That was Ivor Cummins, and that's his real name. No laughing at his name. But a bit
like IP Freely.
What? Oh, I don't know that person. Is that the urinary tract doctor?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've got the answer to that. Short, funny, and shareable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. This is another one for you, and maybe there's a story to go with this. Are you able to follow IKEA instructions?
Yes.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, so you want a story for this, don't you?
Well, I thought there might be one. You see, I've had problems.
We're all unique. Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely,
Yes.
my mate. Yeah.
Yes.
Some of us are more unique than others.
Yeah, I find IKEA instructions actually pretty good, which is good. But sometimes, for some firms, when you've got flat pack furniture, especially if it's been translated from a language, I don't know, like Chinese, when it's translated into English, it's almost as if it'd be better if they left it in Chinese. You have no idea what's happening. But I think IKEA are reasonably good. They have some good drawings to go with it. But it's
No, a lot of firms now are coming out with videos, which makes it so much better. I tell you what, I know what you're saying. I have done some flat pack IKEA. I bought a unit, which this was years ago. I bought a unit which kind of I put a telly in the middle, and there were two bookcases up the sides, and a bit that went over the top, and it was quite nice. It was kind of like a pine type looking thing, and I put that together. That seems all right, and yet I've put a side cupboard together and put a screw through the side panel. I got that wrong. But the worst thing I ever put together, which I actually have to admit is probably one of the biggest meltdowns I've ever had, was trying to put a barbecue together from Homebase.
Oh, Homebase. So they're the culprits, are they?
It was Homebase, and it's a barbecue smoker that we still have, and I still had a piece of metal left over that I have no idea where it went.
That's when it gets worrying, isn't it?
And
why is there something left over?
No idea where it went, and I even went and asked them in store, where does this, and looked at the thing that was made, and it wasn't there either. But yeah, that was something I thought I'd knock together in about an hour. It took me 6 hours to put that together.
But it is together, and still
it is.
together,
It is, and it will be fired up in the next few weeks, hopefully.
Yes. Trevor says that the Chinese instructions are translated into English by an Albanian goat herder.
Yes, that probably...
Almost certainly true. Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, that's still working. So it looks like you can... I can obey the instructions. The problem is that when something looks very simple, I think, I could just do that. I don't need the instructions. Just throw them away, you see?
That's a man thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be able to do that.
That's a man thing.
Hang on.
Yeah.
So,
and it's nothing worse, is there, when you're trying to figure out a problem and the wife comes over. Says, what do the instructions say?
Instructions, smuctions.
Yeah.
Who cares about that? Yeah. So anyway, that was a quick fire question. So next one. This is a philosophical one. So again, this is one for you, Anxious. I'll see if you can. This is deep philosophy. If a tree falls and no one hears it, does it make a sound? Oh, you've gone silent. Is that the answer?
Yes, it makes a sound.
Oh, but isn't the definition of sound something that you hear?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would you say that?
Well, it's a commonly put philosophical question, except for they normally say forest. If a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, does it make a sound?
Well, no, I find that an interesting and yet really uninteresting question. It's one of those things. But if you didn't hear it, did it make a sound?
Well, if it wasn't detected at all, did it actually make a sound? I mean, it obviously caused the same vibrations that would produce a sound, so you could hear it. But if you're not there, does it really make the sound?
Well, and no one hears it. Well, okay,
So there's no one around. It's in the middle of the forest.
All right, so let's just say, hypothetically, that there's nobody in a forest.
Yes.
All right? Yes, of course, but you cannot hear it.
Get
closer. Yes. Let's just say
it might fall on you.
Yeah, let's just say I set up some recording equipment in a forest and there was nobody around for 2,000 miles, and I switched on the recording equipment. Would the forest make any noise?
Yes, but then you're detecting it.
Yeah, but
so you're hearing.
But sound exists through sound waves.
Yeah.
So sound. But that's what sound is.
Oh, if that's how you're defining sound, yes.
Yeah. So you're saying sound only exists if it's received.
No, I'm saying that's the philosophical question.
Yeah, I know. And it's bonkers.
But you see, but it's interesting because I think that you can say because we define it as these. You can define it differently. But it's interesting when I used to teach physics, at high school.
Look, I'm going to ask you a serious question here.
Yeah, I was good. Yeah.
At high school, what didn't you teach?
I taught the three main sciences: physics, chemistry, and biology.
And maths?
No, I didn't teach maths.
And French?
No, just the three sciences.
Okay.
The main two that I taught were physics and chemistry. I taught them to A level.
No.
Nine.
Now,
when I taught physics at A level, you get onto quantum physics.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about quantum physics is it's talking about of very small packets of energy, very small particles, smaller than atoms.
Yeah.
And when you get that small, things are a bit weird.
They are.
And one of the things they notice is for really small particles,
can both a same particle exist in the same place at the same time.
Well, but the point what do you say?
In quantum mechanics or quantum physics, you can have particles that exist in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, as long as they're not travelling at the same speed, that's fine.
Now, did you notice that, chat? Did you notice the way in which Pete said that in a really condescending way to me?
Yeah, I tried to.
He did. It was like, yeah, of course, you fool. As long as they're not travelling at the same.
Yeah,
you fool.
That's the theory of quantum physics.
Go on, then. Go on, Mr. Science
anyway,
carry on with what you're saying.
Yes.
Go on.
He's got very aggressive now.
Yeah.
Maybe this is your anxiety kick. Maybe the sugar kick's gone.
Yeah.
Revo,
I need more cake.
More cake. Look,
go on,
the simple point I was going to make is there's a series of experiments done to show that things are different when they're observed, and the particular one they normally show it's affected by the quantum level, but they're not actually quantum level. They're bromine atoms, and you choose those because they're dark brown.
Yeah.
And you you allow them because at room temperature it becomes a gas and it makes its way up the tube, your test tube, and of course smaller particles are causing them to move. Right, that's why it's going down to a smaller level, and it was found in a series of experiments when you don't record it, they don't travel up the tube. When you look, they start coming up. It's just interesting that that's the case. So, and even not an observer going like this and looking, you're having your bit of equipment turned on, so you could be looking from somewhere else. Well-known experiment. So that means do bromine atoms move when you don't look at them? So it becomes
Can I just go backwards and ask that question? So you're saying that bromide, yeah?
Well, I was saying bromine, but
bromine. Sorry,
because bromide's the ion, the charged form. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, he's doing it again. He's making me look small. Oh, yeah, of course it is. I know.
Yeah, of course you know that. Yeah.
Right, bromine, mead. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Anyway,
I thought it was something you put in army people's tea to stop them having sex.
Yes.
Is that the same thing?
It's related.
Yeah, all right. What are we talking about, bromine or bromide?
Well, I always pronounce it bromine, B-R-O-M-I-N-E.
Right, but you're the scientific one, so the bromine, in a test tube, yeah, as a gas.
It evaporates.
Yeah. When observed, well, it's trapped in a gas at room temperature, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming it doesn't condense. It just is a gas in there.
Well, it settles at the bottom. It's between the room temperature. It's just becoming a vapor or gas.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, and what you say is when you look at it, the gas travels up the test tube.
Yeah.
But you're saying that if you're not looking at it and you're recording it with equipment, it doesn't move.
If you don't record it or look at it, it's the measuring it of it, not whether your eye's there, that's important. So if you don't measure it, so if you stop measuring it, you come back later, it hasn't moved up, or it hasn't moved up as far. Interesting, isn't it? There might be another explanation, but it does seem that the measurement affects what's happening. There are lots of other examples in quantum physics, but I'll save that until I start teaching physics again.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
Maybe but it's just quantum physics.
Pastor Pete
it's just weird. It's just weird. Where a measurement of something changes what's happened.
I know.
How can that be? It can't be.
I get what you mean with the measurement of something can change something, because often, in its simplistic form, it's like doing forensics. Yeah, is that you can contaminate a forensic by just being there.
Yeah, but yes, that's true.
Yeah.
But that is. I mean, and that
I know
might be the case.
I know that's not the same, but you just said there might be another reason
yeah.
for it. So there might be there might be another reason for this experiment you're talking about.
Yeah, there might be.
Where in some way it's getting.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it. That's what I had to teach, but I'm not totally sold.
So anyway, the answer to your question from me and what looks like
everyone thinks you can.
Thinks it makes a noise if there's no one there to hear it.
Okay, right. Final one of the quickfire ones. Tell me the thing that made you laugh the most this week. Anyone in the chat as well? What was the funniest thing that happened this? Obviously, before this very entertaining comedy show you're watching, obviously that's a laugh a second.
I don't know. Yeah, actually, someone give us an idea what kind of genre this rubbish is we're producing. Genre, sorry.
Do they have rubbish as an option? The anything made you laugh? Have you laughed this week?
I'm trying to think. What's
maybe you haven't.
Maybe
week? You haven't laughed. Maybe it's been a week full of tragedy and sadness and wistful longing.
We had this conversation about humour, didn't we? Dry humour. I was watching some of our old episodes earlier.
Did that make you laugh?
Yeah, it did actually. It made me consider that we're not doing a bad job with this this streaming, like you and I.
Yeah. I think it's the chat.
Some of it made me.
The funny jokes come from the chat. That's what I find.
We were talking about dry and wry sense of humour a few weeks back. Do you remember that?
Dry and wry, yes.
Yes, and we thought maybe it was the same thing. And then Jenny jumped on and said, "No, a non-dry sense of humour is juicy." That made me laugh.
Yes,
because
that's a good line.
I was watching some of our old content, thinking, just to see how we're doing, and so from my perspective, I don't, nothing that stood out that's made me laugh more than anything else.
Oh, okay.
If I watched anything that's I was watching Peter Kay.
Oh right, yeah,
earlier,
he's funny. Yeah, mm-hmm.
When he does the misheard song lyrics.
Yep, that's a classic.
That was very funny. There we go. David Bamber's chucked in.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Read that again. That's a very funny show. Yeah.
Yes. Can you read that?
Mm-hmm.
An old recording of "I'm Sorry."
I'm sorry. I'll read that again. Very funny.
Oh right, sorry.
Yeah. With Bill Oddie and friends. Yeah.
And I've got "I'm Sorry." I'll read that again with Bill. Is that radio? Is that Radio 4? Radio 4.
It's an old radio show. I imagine it was Radio 4. Yeah.
See, I've listened to a few. Which one's that one? I'm going to have to look that up, Dave. Hang on. You carry on. I'm sorry.
I think the thing that made me most was a clip from an old TV show, and it was one of these classic clips. I can't remember which one. It was something like the Only Fools and Horses, where he falls Del Boy falls through the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Or it might have been the Fawlty Towers scene where Basil Fawlty hits his car with a tree.
Yeah.
It was one of those. I can't remember. And because it was there to click on my YouTube feed, it made me, it was suddenly there and it made me laugh. It's still funny. Something.
Yeah. Well,
something you googled.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, isn't it? You come across stuff on Facebook or memes or whatever. It's probably those things are the things that have made me laugh.
Yeah, but some of these old TV shows, they get, obviously they're not all funny, but they're coming back into their own now because a little clip from them. They are just they're still funny. They make it into as well, as long as you clip a short bit out.
Although this isn't funny, and we're going back to the BBC here, I've been following the BBC archive on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't seen that.
So there's
old shows.
Yeah, so you remember like the interlude?
With
the Potter's Wheel.
The Potter's Wheel.
That? Yeah.
Wasn't the one with the kitten as well?
Something like that. Yeah, this is BBC content. Yeah, and some of it is actually takes you back, and I kind of remember having seen it somewhere in the past.
A scene from the IT Crowd TV program, and a meme Alex had from a retail worker complaining about customers.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Maybe you've got that.
I've got that.
To show now, or
I don't know. Can I share it? I don't know if I can. That was very funny.
Oh, you think it might be? It might be a problem.
I don't know. I tell you what I could do. I'm trying to constantly think about ways we can get around copyright issues. So let me see if I can find that, and if I can, I'll share it, and people can look it up for themselves. It's quite funny.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So,
sorry, I was just saying.
so the yeah.
Oh, hang on, where's that gone?
The question was what the thing that made you laugh most this week. That was that
Yeah.
simple. So it could be anything. It's whatever makes you laugh. I mean, I that's what I remember laughing. One probably all of those clips that I mentioned, and maybe some more, that came up on my YouTube news feed while I was trying to look for something else, and it was suddenly that, oh yeah, that's funny. I'll click on that, and then it makes me laugh again. So sometimes they just things are just funny.
I could be going. It appeared on my timeline, so it wasn't something I posted, which means I'm going back to the person who I think posted it.
Yeah.
And she posts a lot of stuff. I can't find it on hers. I'll see if I can find it in a second when we start talking about someone else. But
Yes. Okay. Well, so that's it. So that was it. They're just short, quick fire questions. Sometimes they end up with something longer, but that's the idea that you can just move through quickly. So that was it. Quick fire conversations for this week. Any ideas that you'd want us to respond to? Let us know. Put in a comment later if you think.
The only reason why I think I won't put that, if I do find it, I think we probably could share it, is he might swear in it. So.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's definitely not excessive. So I think our community could handle it. Yeah, but it is funny, very, very funny. I will definitely find it before the end of this show and
Yes.
put it into chat.
Okay.
So even if you disappear off, come back, look at the VOD, you'll find it on there.
Now, we've come now to our main topic for today.
Oh yeah,
And that is today is a very special day in the world of International Day ofs. This is the International No Diet Day. Woohoo! International. There it is. May the 6th. May the 6th be with you. International No Diet Day. For this, you could see the ice creams. What is International No Diet Day? Well, it has a very particular emphasis. When it says no diet, I mentioned this to someone earlier, and they said, "Oh, you mean you're not going to eat?" Because of course a diet does mean any food, but what it means is no slimming diet.
do you know the person that you said that to? Are they really?
I can't reveal.
I was
who
going to
they
say,
were.
are they really, really fun at parties?
Yeah, very.
That's
Yeah, that's
so.
so much fun.
Is it just me, chat, that thought?
No, I like a bit of pedantry every now and then, just to brighten up the day.
Okay.
Yes, if you scroll this up, I think we've got a description there. It needs to be a little bit bigger. Can we make it bigger? The text a bit bigger. There we are. This May the 6th, put away your scales and form a new relationship with the person in the mirror for International No Diet Day. For so many people, and especially women, it says here, unattainable body standards and pressure have prompted eating disorders, low self-esteem, bullying, and unhealthy restrictive diets. When British feminist Mary Evans Young had... I was going to say Mary Evans, then I realised she had another name.
Yeah.
Mary Evans Young had enough of all this in 1992. She invited friends to ditch that diet, and it caught on massively. Massively. It's a bit inappropriate, really. Anyway, the global movement that it sparked has helped many individuals form a healthier relationship with food and their bodies. So today, wear a light blue ribbon. Oh, I forgot it. And eat a cheeseburger with pride.
Do I keep going down?
Yes, keep going, because there's a bit of a history here. So in case you think this is some sort of made-up thing, no, this has a bit of history. So no, if you have been dieting all day, stop it right now and eat a Colin the Caterpillar cake.
My view is if you've been dieting all day and you're happy, then just do what you like. Don't listen to us. But whatever.
It's International No Diet Day.
Oh, yeah, okay, go on.
Dietitians and dieting sprung up as early as the 18th century when obese English doctor George Shane underwent a tremendous weight loss by eating only vegetables and drinking only milk. My goodness, that must just stink the place. Anyway, completely abstaining from eating meat. He then recommended his diet to all who suffer from obesity and wrote an essay titled An Essay of Health and Long Life.
See, interestingly, I don't think that obesity was necessarily a big problem in the 18th century.
It's always been a big problem, get it? But yes, But I don't know that. I don't know that. But probably not, as
See,
many people wouldn't have enough to eat.
yeah, you know, it wasn't quite like going down Tesco's, is it? And getting
But I don't know
the pink meat in a packet.
I don't know the accuracy of this. I know that
you know, if you didn't get crop, you're starved.
there's this chap called Banting, whose first name I've forgotten, in the early his early 20th century, I think, late 19th, early 20th, I can't remember. But he discovered that people were eating too much sugar, and he cut it out on the advice of his doctor. And he invented something called the Banting diet. And I found this historically interesting because what he did was what people now call the low carb diet. But his insights were lost. But apparently, it used to be so popular that his name became a verb. You know, Banting was his name.
Yeah.
But people would say, "Are you banting?" Which means, "Are you losing weight?" And basically, you eat mainly protein.
Yeah.
For when you want to lose weight, and it works. So I want to lose a bit of weight now. So I'm cutting out sugar. I'm doing. Oh yes, you could say, "Hey Pete, are you banting?" I say, "Yes, I am."
Should we try it?
Yeah, I'm going to try. Well, I was going to try it today, but starting today. But I forgot about the cake. So.
After the cake, Pete, are you banting?
Yeah, I'm banting from now on.
Nice.
And I'm going to do it for 3 months. And
Every
you'll notice.
day's a no diet
just
day
look,
for me. Yay.
Not today. It's no diet day, but diet day from now. No, look.
Sorry,
Look just
hang on,
take a look at me. Let me look straight on. Look.
Look. Go on.
See, double chin, look. At least. What? What do you think? Well, you've got a beard on yours.
Yeah, it's hiding about four of them.
You've got to sort of cut. It looks better like that. See, that will go. I know because I've done it before. Now you could say I'm yo-yo, but actually it's over a few years, so it's not quite yo-yoing. So I put on the weight over the past 3 years. Put on a few stone in weight. So I want to take it off. I think it'll go off, in about a year, like Banting himself.
Oh, yeah.
But that's maybe a story for another, because it's fascinating the effect that it has. It's absolutely brilliant. Anyway, interesting link for today. Oh, I don't know what that means.
You tried to post a link, Revo.
Oh, it says star, star, star. Oh, yes.
Hang on. Revo, let me give you some power.
Oh, yes.
And
right.
then you'll be able to post links.
So International No Diet Day has I'll come back to that in a minute, because it is a very specific emphasis on it, and I want to know whether people in the chat think it's right. I have my own opinions. I have strong opinions on this. We're treating it as a sort of a light subject, but there is light subject. But the
try that again, Revo.
Yeah, but it is. While that's happening, the particular emphasis is that it's not simply that you don't have any slimming diets, which is the idea. It's the sort of the opposite as well, that you celebrate all the different body shapes and sizes. Oh, there we are.
Daily record.
Oh, right. No, yes. So this on No Diet Day, that should be very interesting. You are correct, I think. Maybe we could have a look at that.
Do you want me to do that now?
Yeah, we can always go back to the.
Well, let me bring it up, and I'll tell you if it's.
It's all right to get.
Yes. Oh, okay. No, I know what that is. Yeah, no, I needed that. We'll come back to that though, Revo. Thanks for that.
Oh, right, we'll come back to that. Yeah, all right, fair enough. So let's. If you go back to the original article then that we just look at, because I was just praising what it said there. This is. So history, I'd got down to here, the second paragraph there. People have continued to use specific eating habits to become healthier, to make their bodies fit a certain societal ideal. Interesting way of putting it. Here you are. I hadn't read this bit in here. I knew about him separately. William, there you are, that's his name. English undertaker William Banting created the first fad, it says here, weight loss diet, Banting, in 1863, late 19th century. There you are. It was still being printed in 2007. I have a copy. And is considered a model for popular diets. It involved 4 meals of meat, greens, fruit, and dry wine per day. In fact, if you followed Banting's actual diet, well, let's just say there's a lot of wine. In 1918, the first best-selling weight loss book, Diet and Health with the Key to Calories, was created by American columnist and physician Lulu Hunt Peters. Somehow, I mean, I don't know whether you find this, Al, but the name Lulu doesn't fill me with great confidence in this person's.
Well, maybe she's been on the cabbage soup diet. Yeah, go on.
Yes. Anyway, yes, it promised calorie counting, which remains popular today. Yes, I think calorie counting is a big mistake. Since then, over 1,000 weight loss diets have developed, but most focus on consuming a low amount of either calories, fat, carbohydrates, or sugars. Yeah, as I say, I'm convinced that the main culprits are carbohydrates. Sugars are carbohydrates.
Me too.
They're not fooling me like that. I know sugars are carbohydrates. I used to be a science teacher.
It's all right. Hang on, I'll just pipe in up. Trish has piped up. It's all right to get your weight down.
Yes.
Keeping it off is the problem.
Yes, you see, because I was most of my life I've been reasonably slim, reasonably fit, but so I put on weight a few years ago and I took it off, but now I'm heavier than I've ever been.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a combination of factors. It's the carbohydrates coming back, and then that's a necessary part of it, and then just not enough exercise. It's just the two things together.
Yeah. See, now I'm probably going to chuck another spanner in here because I don't think exercise works for all people.
Here's my thinking of it. I think that there are physiological differences between people.
Well,
I think that's right.
I think fundamentally, when it comes to medicine, full stop, when it comes to how we all are, of course there are similarities for us all, but they're all things like whether it's allergies, you've got people that have intolerances and people, how their metabolism runs, and all of these things. I think we all are slightly different, yeah?
I agree, yeah. My point on this is that the main thing is cutting out the carbs, or at least
I agree. I agree with low carbs.
Yeah. But you need to do some exercise. I'm not saying
a lot. I think you need exercise. I think exercise.
That's how they're burnt off. You see.
Well, yeah. I mean, look.
But without cutting out the carbs, exercise won't help you.
No. Right. Hang on. Let's bring chat back in for a sec, and we'll add in Simon's comment. Fade. Right. So simplest diet: if you take in less calories than you burn, you lose weight more, and your body stores the excess as fat. Yes.
No, don't agree. I don't agree in this. That's true. No, I think it's absolutely true. But there's one thing missing from it. It should be simplest diet if you take in less calories as carbohydrates. If you eat fat and protein, they won't make you fat. Fat in your diet doesn't equal fat on the body. So you eat more fat, protein, cut out the carbohydrates.
Yeah.
I did it and my weight just dropped off.
Yeah.
I'm about to do it starting tomorrow. Watch. I mean, I agree with that comment.
I think
just needs the word carbohydrates
in the simplest form. If you burn more energy than you consume, you will lose weight.
Yes.
That's what
that's true.
Is. Because fundamentally, if you're burning more energy and carbohydrate or glycerin, which is what the sugars that come from carbohydrates is, you will use those. So if you're in a status, for example, of like, you're talking more protein diet rather than
less carbs. Yeah,
carbs. Is that carbohydrates convert into glycerin. Also, for every pound of carbohydrates you store a pound of water, which is another thing. So, but ultimately, what's the thing I was going to say? Yes, if you have glycerin stores or fat stores, and you have no other form of energy to burn, you'll start burning those stores. So, like I say, if you take 2,000 calories in a day of whatever kind, and you burn 3,000 calories a day, you are going to lose weight.
Yes, but the thing is that if you were to eat fat, you wouldn't put on fat.
No. Body fat and fat that you consume is two different things.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you eat protein, unless you're actually at starvation levels, you can break down protein for energy, but normally that won't happen either. So the reason I mention that is, it's what you'll say is true, but it's only for the carbs.
Yeah, let me find something.
Which I think is what people in chat are saying as well. I'm not arguing a point because I think everyone is saying the same thing.
What's his surname?
I think the thing about carbs is important. I know Vicarious Big Pixel Priest saying the same thing, but I think that generally people just have this view that they can count their calories, but you get calories put on fat as well and other things, and you think, oh, I've eaten a huge amount of calories, but you haven't because your body doesn't break that down in the same way as carbohydrates.
Right.
So it shouldn't be part of the calculation.
Okay, there's a guy, right, who I'm going round the... right, I found him. Dr. Michael Mosley. Right, I'm going to see if I can find something for him. There was a program he did. This starts incorporating things with fasting, which Vicarious Big, Pixel Priest, Pete will understand stuff like that. He did a program about exercise, and I was totally blown away by it, right? About this conceptual idea that if you do loads of exercise, you'll lose weight, which isn't true.
No, it isn't true. No.
It's not true at all.
No, but you need to do some exercise, but doing more.
But no. My MO with exercise is more cardiovascular.
Yeah.
So if you're doing exercise, it's about the way that your body, it works, it's the way it pumps blood, it's all of those sort of things. It's, all of your breathing, your heart rate, all of those things are what exercise is good for, which is part and parcel of having a good frame, having a good body. But I'm just going to see if I can find the link, and I don't know if it's still on iPlayer or something, but it was a fantastic program, and I'm sure it was Michael. It's either Michael Mosley or Sander Tolkien, and he's got a twin brother that did the.
So is this so anxious, Al?
Go on.
Are we both doing this then? Are we starting
what?
Cutting out the carbs from tomorrow? Is that right? I mean, I'm doing it.
Well, look, I'm going to show you a picture.
You can measure.
Listen.
You'll be able to. I think people will be able to easily see. I can tell people my weight and everything. Well, I haven't weighed. I'll weigh tomorrow. But I bought some new scales to do. But you could just look at the neckline there. So in 2 months' time, it should be.
Well, it does depend on how much you've got to lose. All right.
I think 3 stone.
This might be a bit controversial. All right.
You're going to show a controversial image.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an image of me.
Oh, right.
All right.
Is this you thin or fat?
So this is an image of me, yeah? I don't know if I can get rid of that. Let's do view image. Open image in new tab. How's that look? Hey, there we go. Right, this is an image of me in November 2019.
Oh, that's not long ago, yeah.
All right. This is me, November 2019. You ready for this?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is me in 2019.
Yes. You were a bit thinner then. So, how much heavier are you now than then, do you know?
A lot.
Oh, I'm told actually I don't know if this is true, see what people think of this. I'm told actually weight isn't the best way to do it because, it could be different things causing excess weight. It could be, you might have put on weight, Anxious Al, because you've just been developing your muscles so much.
No, none of this is muscle.
Okay.
This, I think, is probably...
Well, anyway...
I think a lot of this is to do with anxiety, to be honest, and a lot of it's to do with...
Eating more carbs.
COVID. Yeah,
if the anxiety can make you eat more carbs. Anyway, let's...
Whatever, it was. I put that on over 2020, and this is the fine physique of a man you see today as a result of that.
Well, I've been great. It's about this. I've been putting on my weight over the same period.
Let me finish my explanation.
Yes, go ahead.
Right.
Go do it.
I've lost... I generally am a heavy bloke. I've been heavy most of my life, and I was probably just a little bit lighter than what you see today. And I got to that weight in that image.
How did you do it?
I got to that weight in that image in 4 months.
How did you do it, though? What was the changes you made? What were the changes you made?
So I was in ketosis, yeah? So I was on a savagely reduced...
It was cut the carbs.
Cut the carbs, but slightly more than that. I've done this 3 times in my life.
You did? Did you follow the Atkins diet, which is
no. I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
And this actually links partly back to Trish's comment about it's all right getting the weight off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I suppose in a question, yes, it's all right getting the weight off. It's keeping off this problem. So for me, I do a diet called the Lipotrim diet, and it's a shake diet. All right. So I have 3 shakes a day. So it takes away for me a real
That's
problem.
my shake.
Yeah, a real problem in deciding what to eat, like portioning control and things like that. So I do 3 shakes a day, and I basically lose a pound a day. Yeah. You're not supposed to do heavy exercise on this because, that would be quite difficult. You're on a very, very low calorie intake, but a very, very, very small amount.
So they're basically
carbs.
Protein shakes, are they?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So let's just bring chat back in.
That isn't what I did. I lost quite a lot of weight quite quickly. I noticed it first when I lived in China for a bit.
Oh, hang on, I've done a full screen.
I put you on the spot. Yes.
Hang on.
I said, "Are you doing it?"
Fade that in.
I lost. What was it? I lost a stone.
So,
what is this?
So
cutting carbs. Yeah, again, drinking more water is very important when you cut down carbs, especially if you end up cutting out roughage, because you got to keep the throughput, so you need to drink more water. But water does make you feel full as well.
So Malcolm, you're right. He did put me on the spot, and
yes, I did.
Interesting enough,
I'm saving the world.
Yeah. Well, no. Maybe I just need to save myself a bit at the minute. To get back to that thing, I do plan to go back on that diet.
But I think, Al, with your current girth, you are like a little world in your own right, aren't you?
Thanks, man.
You're like a little.
I can sense that you said that with love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
But you're not wrong, and I do need to lose weight again and get on top of it. But the key thing is...
Oh, I had a joke about the equator lined up. I won't do it now.
Listen, the key thing is... I don't know if I can highlight this. I don't think I can. The key thing is Trish's comment there. It's all right. It's all right to get the weight down. Yeah. The problem is the thing is it's a change of lifestyle.
Yes, I agree. Yes,
the change of lifestyle has to happen after that. Now, I'm all for exercise for all the reasons I just said. Cardiovascular stuff. I personally don't think it makes any difference. However, anyone personally wants to lose weight. Lose weight in the best way you find comfortable to lose weight. Okay. Yeah, and over whatever period of time you find most comfortable to lose weight, as long as it, Yeah.
Well, as long as it's a healthy diet, that's the problem.
Well, no, yeah. I think it's the reason I'd argue that is that I think the point is you're unhealthy if you're really morbidly obese. And it doesn't really matter how you get the weight off; just get the bloody weight off.
Because
the fundamental thing is get yourself.
I would say that
get yourself down to that sensible weight.
We are both obese, I would say.
No, I'm way more than that, mate.
Yeah, I'm certainly over obese now because I'm 3 stone overweight.
Yeah, I'm more than that. Yeah. My wife has gone from a size 18, 20 to a size 10 in about 6 months. I sadly have found a couple of...
He's found a couple of stone, yes.
Stone, yeah. Sorry.
Comfort eating, yeah. That's it, during the...
Comfort eating during the last few months. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's the carbs that get you, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in comparison to both Becari's big and you're a bit taller. How tall are you, Pete?
174 centimetres.
How tall are you in real
5'8" and a half.
So you're about the same height as me.
Oh, actually, am I?
Yeah, I'm 5'8" and a half. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, see, I haven't got up close to you in over a year.
No, that's true.
We stopped the hugging and embracing since the COVID pandemic and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't all bad.
Becari's big's about 6'4". He's a big chap. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Which I didn't believe until I started watching some of his sermons and stuff at church online. Check out his church. You'll be able to find it somewhere.
But together we could probably take him on.
Yeah, but he's he's an ex-bouncer as well, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we need a bit of an army then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's probably... I think he can handle himself. Yeah. So anyway, I think that helps as well. 6'2", 15 stone. There you go.
Yeah, I think that answers my point. Yeah.
Whereas I'm 5'8" and more than that.
Oh really? Oh right.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I'm very big at the minute. I am the biggest I think I've ever been.
Well, I am as well. But so let's do it then. Why don't we do it? I mean that's. So what I'm saying is
I'm
from
just
tomorrow.
Go back to Malcolm's point. Is Pete put you on the spot?
Yes, I put you back on it.
He did, didn't he?
I picked you up. Well, I tried to pick you up, but I couldn't. But I put you back on the spot. I'm trying to think of a few more fat jokes before we move on, but I can't think of them.
No, just
what?
Bear with me.
Okay.
Silently for a moment.
Right.
All right. Starting tomorrow, I'll weigh in and start my diet. Hang on. Let me think about the reality of that. What have we got in the fridge?
Let's eat a target. Yes.
Let's set a target.
Yes. The wit in the chat is on fire. You
You're
see, this is where the comedy comes from.
You're in as well. Okay.
Yeah.
We could become online Weight Watchers.
No, actually, you see, I misread that. I thought he said let's set a target, which is it's a good point to say. But I thought he said let's eat the target, which was a funny line. I just thought he was saying let's.
He likes the idea of the wine diet you mentioned.
What's that?
He likes the idea of the wine diet. Yeah.
Well, Banting actually.
Hang on,
look up Banting's diet. He wrote this short pamphlet, which was used to be a bestseller. Cynics would say before the sugar industry got it banned. But anyway, that's
listen. Right, Kate's in as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, so, hang on. Let's.
But the target is your own target. We're not setting targets.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we'll do it then. All right. And what we're going to call ourselves? It's got to be really bad and insulting, so it makes us feel really bad, so we carry on doing it.
What the fatty wobblies? You mean?
Yeah.
The fatty wobbly.
Chunky Al and the.
Oh right, yeah, change the name. Yeah, Chunky Al and no, you're anxious.
Anxious Chunky. I don't know.
Chunky Al.
Listen, we'll come back to that. Look,
Fatty
Elaine has made a very good point. Yeah,
right.
we've still got Colin to finish eating.
You can't eat the rest of it.
What am I going to do with a cake? I can't just throw it out.
You have to give it away.
I've got some nice topside of beef in the fridge.
Yeah, you got to eat it tonight. Topside beef is fine because that's high protein.
It's not my diet. So if I commit if I commit to
you're doing your diet. You're doing your drink stuff.
If I'm going to go on my diet, everybody.
Okay, guys.
Listen. Yeah, everybody has to do their
own diet
in the way that they feel
absolutely. And how long have we got to do it? Because to lose 3 stone, I'm not going to need a few months. You see. Or do we want? Shall I set the chubby chaps? Yes. Do we set an interim target? A month. We a final target and an interim target. I think. Otherwise, you won't know how far you're getting.
Well, why don't we? The chubby chaps.
Yes, that's what I saw. Yes.
Yeah.
That's us.
Sorry, so hang on. We've got 2 females. We've got Kate and we've got Pixel Priest. We've got me and you from the male and Vicarious Big.
Vicarious Big. He's
Wallacey Unleashed.
He mentioned 2 That who is that? That is perfect. Yes, we'll go for that.
That is the funniest thing I've laughed at all week, Pete.
Yes.
There you go. Wallacey Unleashed.
Yes, we'll do that. Yes, except for I like quiche. It'd be a pity to. Yeah. No, has pastry around it. Yeah. There's carbohydrate.
Can't you get quiche that's got no pastry?
Maybe.
You can get no pastry. But listen. If we're going to do this, let's do this. But if we're going to do it, I have to sort of do a little bit of planning so it has some kind of possibility of success. Yeah. All right. But
what's the planning? What planning are you doing?
All I'd like to do first is get rid of the food that we've got. Yeah. I hate waste.
You see,
I hate waste.
Think you can do that, but I think that will give the rest of us a head start because we're starting tomorrow, aren't we, guys?
Right. Okay. Are we going to need some special WhatsApp group for this? Is it going to be like that where people start sending notes of encouragement?
We've got the haven't we got the group on? We've got a group associated with this. No,
we haven't. We've got a group with the church.
Yeah. We could have a group. Or,
we could create a group called the Fatty Lardasses. Yeah.
Wallacey Unleashed.
That's I do like Wallacey Unleashed. Yes. Actually, that is quite good.
Lose weight with it. Yes. You see, this is a whole new venture.
So, but what do we say on that? Do I say, this is how fat I am?
Well, I think what would be a good idea, you don't all have to do this, but what we should do is take a picture, a sort of full, not nude, but it's sort of wearing something that shows your shape, and then you got a before and after.
I was really looking forward to tonight's show. I really was.
Or you could just put your weight. But what I was about to say earlier is I was reading this up. This is the last time I did it. When
didn't you do this last year when we were doing TGF?
I did about it, but I didn't actually do it.
Really? We thought you were doing it for weeks.
Well,
did you lie to us?
Well, I was quite fit then, wasn't I? Actually, I'm not. The thing is, I'm not that unfit. That's the. And I'm reasonably running.
I remember you fed Spike a piece of banana.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's good for doggos.
Oh, he likes it.
Yeah, as long as you don't do it too much, I suppose.
But yeah, bananas
you were
are
doing
out.
something. You were doing something on diet.
Bananas. Yeah, I said I was going to do that, and then so I was doing it for those couple of weeks or whatever it was, and then I didn't do it. Yeah, but it's the dog partly. It's a weird thing in that because I'd taken the dog for a little walk, I wasn't going for a run, so that's where the exercise went. But also I changed the diet. It was the diet that was the problem really. But the what was I going to say? Yes, I suppose actually thinking about it, most of the weight has come on since then. Yeah. So the yes, some people
comment
say
from Dave.
Yes. So yes, thank you, David. Yeah, that's very encouraging. Now the people say that it's the waist that is actually the true measure. Is it because there was some interesting statistics on this? The size of your waist. It doesn't matter about your height. Well, I'd have to look it up. I can't remember. There's a certain size of waist over which you're likely to have a heart attack, and it doesn't matter whether the size of the waist is because you're fat or because you're very tall, like a really big guy, like a 7 foot tall guy, also has a huge waist. So it does seem to be, it seems to be true.
I heard, strangely enough, many moons ago, that the increase of you getting heart attack from as a bloke starts to happen when you go to a 34-inch waist.
That might be it. It might be over 34. Yeah.
Now listen, when I've got
got
down to my slimmest, then I think just because I look so damn good in this.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, show it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was a 34 in that.
Yeah, and great jumper as well.
It is. Yeah, that was when I was doing the tills at Asda. I loved that job. I did. I really liked it. And actually, I do more of a manual job now. Well, I haven't done because I've been furloughed for most of the year. Trevor says he'll supervise, but likes his food too much to take part.
It's fine. Just cut the carbs. You'll lose weight. If you want it, maybe you don't want to lose weight.
He's been on a no diet day for all of his life. So Trevor,
no beer.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. He was having a beer.
You can have wine, but no. I mean, Trevor's not taking part. I mean, if you're in my diet, you can have wine, but no beer, because beer. I was reading these studies which shows that beer is more fattening than pure glucose. So it has some effect that it's even more fattening than that. So don't drink beer.
Okay. Just before I forget, anyone who's watching tonight, if you're not following, subscribing, whatever channel you're on, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch. I know people are coming in from both.
Yeah, and tell me, because this sort of show gets better and better the more people you have in the chat. So because you get more. I mean, we've got a great group in the chat, so it's really good anyway. But if you get more people in, it gets better and better. Cause that's what this sort of show does. It feeds on the information that comes from the chat,
and it makes his job much easier because then he doesn't have to think of anything. But also, you lot to do it.
Yeah, there's also more ideas to actually discuss. Yeah. Anyway, so
I'm keen on that because most of the stuff Pete comes up with.
Yeah.
See that? Did you see that? He said he's going to start his diet with me tomorrow.
Yes.
Thanks. Malcolm was the only person that noticed that.
So you're not. Are you doing it tomorrow? No, you're not starting tomorrow. You need planning.
I'll have a chat with Revo. I'm not sure. I think what I will do is I will definitely. What day are we now? We're working next. We're back next Thursday, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
We've got nothing to stop runs for next few weeks, have we? So, I will definitely have lost £5 by next Thursday. All right.
Oh, that's right. That's.
How about I commit to that?
Oh, it's just 1 week. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, because normally I'd lose 7. But what I'm hoping to do is try and finish off the food that we've got and figure out.
You see, I'm not so comfortable with a weekly thing, but I suppose I should lose £3.
Do you know what? Trevor says it was okay. Do you know what makes me laugh is obviously I'm still thinking of Peter Kay now. Pete Kay says
he needs to do it. Yeah.
Well, he's lost loads of weight.
Oh, has he? I haven't seen him recently.
He talks about he does that sketch, doesn't he? About what's the real slimming place that people go and weigh in each week? Slim's World.
the Slimmers World and Wallacey Unleashed.
Yeah.
There is another one as well.
There's another one that he talked about. He said it's a
World
pound
and-
cheaper or whatever.
Oh, right.
And he says that when they do this, like, how have you done? And this woman said, I broke a nail, so I had to have a fry up.
That's fair enough.
That always cracks me up. Peter Kay.
Yes.
All right, okay. Let's come back to it towards the end of the show, or not?
Yeah, oh,
well,
yes.
no, because people might disappear for them. All right, listen. Weight Watchers.
Weight Watchers, that's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
Yes, I used to have a Weight Watchers in a church, the church that I ran in North London. And it was on at the same time as the youth club, where I would be on the door and we'd see all the people coming in. Very unkind comments about them. People would say, "Are the floors reinforced?" and this sort of thing. It's it's terrible. The problem was that some of the comments were also quite funny, so I was trying to look all serious. So.
Right, listen. Should we go back to?
But yeah, I think a good just to finish off the commitment. I want to just lose the weight, so I'm saying in about 3 months' time. I don't think I'll have all three. I think in 3 months' time I should lost 2 stone. I think that's a good. That's good enough.
I think that's doable on
Yeah.
a very, very low carb diet.
Well, I'm just going. Yes, low carb. Exactly, very low carb. I was just catching what you're saying there. Yeah, I think I can do that. Yeah.
Very low carb diet.
Yep. So starting tomorrow.
So whatever. Right. So the only thing I'll say is
For me, starting tomorrow.
whatever you guys decide you're doing, that's great. And if you want to, should we start a group on Wallacey Unleashed called Wallacey Unleashed?
Yeah.
All right. I'll
set it up.
I'll
Yeah,
set up a
invite
group.
us.
I'll set up a group on Wallacey Unleashed
Called Wallacey and Quiche.
called Wallacey Unleashed.
Yeah, and
Which
invite
is-
us all in.
which
Yeah.
we'll call the summer diet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what we can do is we can put comments on about encouragement. We can do comments on about perhaps what the diet is that you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll do. And leave it as simplistic as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah,
don't think people need to give too much information away. And if we do it, and then we could do a tie-in each month and say how much have you lost, or each week, whatever you want to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose weight again. Your weight is normally the easiest. But you don't have to give the actual weight. You could just say how much you've lost.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, yeah. But I think I'm quite happy to put my weight,
Well, you
but I
put-
haven't weighed it yet.
It's down to the individual. You put
Yeah,
what
yeah,
put
sure.
what you like. Put what you like. So, yeah, I might say exactly what I've done because I'm not that vain. I don't mind. I'm about 18 stone, by the way, if that makes
Oh, really?
Yeah. Very big.
Well
So,
done.
going back, that is an achievement, really, isn't it? So, going back to the original part of this conversation,
Yes.
which was like, to me,
It's no diet day today.
yeah. So, to me, it doesn't matter what you do,
Oh,
but
right.
get rid of the weight. But the key thing is as Tricia said, it's about lifestyle change then. Now, for me and Revo, kids have all moved out now. We've got our youngest who's at university, so she's kind of back and forth. But life has changed a bit over the last sort of year or so. So those things, I think, make it different where you can start implementing some proper changes to your day-to-day living. Yeah. Of course, we've had a pandemic, so
Yeah.
forget everything for last year.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
just-
missing year.
Look,
Yeah.
getting through the year, praise God and well done to each and every one of us. That's all I say on that front. But yeah, it's 2021,
Yeah.
and I'm quite good to say, let's do it. Let's
Okay,
make
you said like
some of
I'll post something as soon as it's up, and we'll
all right,
see. How
I'll do it tomorrow though. All right,
Yeah,
let's go back to this thing then.
Okay, International No Diet Day. If I
Where did
think
we get to?
we said we were
Banting 1863. Printed
yeah
in
we
the
had
book,
we had the 1980 we had diet culture boom.
Yeah, then you got to Lulu.
Yeah, yes. Then we said diet culture boom, increasing the amount of accessible media from television to ads to the internet. Marketers, okay, promoting body standards and ideals.
Racketeers, yeah,
I would say marketeers.
yeah, I like it. Whatever.
They promoted ideals that were difficult for many people to attain. In many cases, photo editing and plastic surgery made these figures physically impossible to attain. Yet many felt the social pressure and turned to diets to thin themselves. I think some of that's true. It seems a bit over the top, that claim. Anyway, in 1992, English feminist Mary Owens Young had already battled anorexia, bullying, and body image issues for years and had had enough. Though she originally intended her first No Diet Day to be celebrated only in the UK, she was inspired to see it spread internationally. In 1992, only a few dozen women in the UK celebrated the holiday with the Ditch That Diet stickers and picnic. Nice touch. By 1993, women in various countries wanted to celebrate, and the date was changed to May the 6th to avoid conflict with, how do you spell this? Cinco de Mayo? Is that how you say it?
Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, festivities. Yeah. Today, the stated purpose of INDD, International No Diet Day, is body acceptance and body shape diversity, and is symbolised by a light blue ribbon. However, many restaurants use the day as marketing tactics to encouraging consumers to buy indulgent treats. Who'd have thought? Though the meaning of the day has evolved, depending on who is celebrating, it is a feminist landmark and a crucial reminder to focus on health at any size, as well as an important way of exposing the dangers of dieting. I think there are dangers in these short-term diets. I think that is true. But is it real? Is that true? I mean, I've just always accepted that it tends to be more a woman thing, that women are concerned about their weight and that sort of body image. But I don't know if it is true. That's what's usually said.
Yeah,
is it true?
I think it. If I'm honest, I think men probably just have as bigger issue as women. I think it might be about the acceptability of discussion. Might be something along those lines. They don't talk about it, but and some men might just not care, But I do think that I do care about my weight, and I want it to be less because I feel less lethargic, and a whole raft of reasons why it's good to be losing weight.
Yeah,
that's why I'm probably a bit anti these kind of things, because International No Diet Day, on the basis that. I'm not a big fan of the conceptual idea of big is beautiful.
No, me neither. No.
Because
I think that's wrong.
I think it's an encouragement for people. It's a psychological thing which goes completely the wrong way. Mm. So you've got one. It's two extremes of the same problem. You've got one problem that's got people being airbrushed out and photoshopped to look impossibly amazing, which is really bad for our youth culture to say, I need to look like this. And then you've got the other flip side of people that have got psychological issues because of their weight, and then people saying big is beautiful, so here, let's do it that way. What we need to do is we need to actually get something in the middle, somewhere in between, which is which is the right thing. So I'm not pro either of those things. I'm trying to. This is always the way, isn't it? Whatever it is, whether it's political, whatever, it's finding that balance in the middle is genuinely. Generally, the best place to try and target.
I think this No Diet Day, it seemed to have started out as a good idea. Don't take these unhealthy diets, those short-term diets. I'm just sick of these diets. Let's make sure let's have a diet where we say we're all going to ditch the diet. But you should then replace it with healthy eating, which is what we're really talking about. With our diet of losing weight, what I'm doing, I should go back to what I used to eat. Mm. I was perfectly happy with it. Why I stopped, I don't know. Because I have a fry up for breakfast every day. It's great. It's just a little bit of an effort. That's the only thing that it is. But so I think that was good, the original intent. But when it comes to celebrating, as seemed to be intimated there, these different body types, in other words, celebrating being fat, I don't think that's a good thing at all, because you end up being unhealthy, you feel tired, you feel lethargic, and actually you die younger as well.
The fundamental thing is that obesity is probably the largest contributor to illness on the planet.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And it puts you at risk from COVID-19. I mean, that's one of the biggest causes.
It's because actually when I got...
Once you've caught it, it's then worse for you, is what I mean.
Well, potentially, because that was the biggest concern when I got COVID-19 last year. Because I was aware that I was putting weight on throughout the pandemic, although at the start of it, I was not far from that position I was at. In fact, I was that position, and then, of course, COVID-19, and I started to slowly put weight on. Of course, what people understood about COVID-19 during the first 6 months of last year and what we understand about it now, the situation with the vaccine and all of those things, and blah 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 blah, very different. But people that were in the obese category or morbidly obese, as I'd be, or clinically obese, whatever you want to be. Well said out, yeah,
yes.
Cheers, Mel. They were potentially. So when I got COVID-19 in September, I was it was like living a bit on a knife edge, really, because I realised that there was a specific day, and it was a bit elusive whether it was the third day or the seventh day of when you had that you could really end up with significant problems breathing. And I was aware that my weight was so big, and being an ex-smoker, and obviously everyone knows that I vape, because I decided to scrap the whole idea of trying to hide that on camera because there was no point.
We could hear you anyway.
Yeah, she could hear me. Yeah, it sounded like Darth Vader in the background. Haven't smoked since September 2017, by the way. Is this good? No, it's not. Is it better than smoking? Yes, it is. Another conversation, perhaps. So, yeah, I was very worried, and I got through that, and I did have some breathing issues, and I have had little breathing problems crop up over maybe some sort of form of long COVID that I've got. But I think all of this will disappear when I lose the weight. So that's the thing. But COVID aside, the impact of carrying the kind of weight I've got on my heart.
Yes, put strain on the heart.
And I'm travelling towards 50. It's not a good place to be. So that is why I did the weight loss last year. Not last year, year before. But and I can't really blame COVID, can I? Probably not. That's a cop out, isn't it? But I need to get back on it.
What I'd be interested to see, well, I guess you'll put it in the group. Maybe we'll discuss it again. You go for some time with your protein shakes.
Yeah.
But at some point, you need to come off them. You can't just drink protein shakes forever, can you?
No. So
you need to then transition.
There's like a refeeding process. So what you tend to do is go on. I think I've always done it this way, and I just convert to 3 shakes a day, and I think they even say that's not good. But I've done that from the outset, and I did this many, many years ago. And the reason I did this is because they put my mum on it through the doctors. And my mum, which I always remember as being mum-shaped, if you will, got down to about 8 stone and looked amazing. And I thought it was just like a miracle that they put her on this. And it was kind of supported by a doctor. She went in for weight checks with the doctor and all this sort of stuff. So I did like the personal maintenance plan that they do. And I did 3 shakes a day, very little exercise, and just to get rid of the weight. And I think what they recommend now is doing 2 shakes a day and very light, low-carb meal in the evening. But basically, you're right. You get to the end of it, and you do a refeeding thing. So you say, right, I just have 2 shakes a day for a week, and then you do 1 shake a day and 2 meals for a week. So the key thing is, for me and Revo, when we come out the other side of this, is how we then have a defined lifestyle that says that this is the main...
keeps the carbs low, but you have some there. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that for me though, it's I'm going to follow. This is what I did before. Pretty much what Banting did, William Banting, which used to be a hugely popular diet until the 60s, when people say that's the sugar industry taking over, whatever reason, became more popular. But so it means that each meal. I just do it with the main meal. He did it with every meal. Have wine with every meal, because wine isn't fattening. This is what I mean. People may disagree with that. That's what Banting said. So I'm doing what he says. Yeah. But I think he's correct. So a little bit of cheese, not too much. But I think he believed that the cheese had more carbohydrate in it than it does. If you have a hard cheese, it has almost none. So I have a bit more cheese in that, but that's my only alterations to his diet.
That's cool. I mean, if you want to get smashed for breakfast, that's
No, I only just have a glass of wine every evening. But yes,
but that's fine.
I would like to do that, but I have things to do in the day.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
Yeah, it's a bummer, isn't it?
It's really irritating.
It's like saturated fat. That's always been perceived as a really bad thing.
No, it's a really good thing. It's delicious.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No. It's exactly that.
It was Who was it? It was going back to the 60s. It came out of America. Was it a presidential advisor or something like that? It was someone that came out with the concept that saturated fat was really bad for you. So as a result of that, you've ended up with all of these hydrogenated vegetables, which are even worse for you
Yes.
than saturated fat.
Yeah, and you end up having things like chips in fish and chip shocks, cooked in vegetable oil. No, it should be animal fat. Come on, let's get back to real food. Except I can't have chips because they're carbohydrate.
No, I think there's vegetable oils you can have. It's
You can. It just doesn't taste as nice. That's what I was meaning.
Yeah, I mean, I still buy butter, but you know.
Butter's good for you.
Yeah. Especially a nice French one. Nice salt crystals. Right.
Anyway, look, we're waffling now, but we have got another topic to do.
How are we doing? We've got 15 minutes, and that's it.
Oh, well, there are two more topics.
Well, let's go. We can always save it.
What?
Let's just keep going. We can always save it. Do you want to carry on with the? Have you got any more on No Diet Day? I think we've done that to death.
No, we've done that to death already. Yeah. There was
the next one about the Wirral.
The next one is a question to people who lived on the Wirral for a reasonable amount of time. Is the Wirral posh?
Right.
And we've got a site here which says there are 3 Wirral towns listed as top towns.
For poshness.
Well, I call it poshness. I think they're just saying that they're top towns.
This is the Liverpool Echo.
Yeah, classic. What?
Nothing at all. No, nothing. I didn't say a word.
You don't read the Liverpool Echo?
Mate. Right, okay.
You've got to keep up.
Where are we? Let's just check with chat. News. Right, nothing new on chat. So, I know that... Actually, Malcolm, do I know you? And if I don't know you, are you Wirral based or are you further afield? So just wonder if you could add to the value of the conversation, that's all. Some parts of like Heswall and Caldy
are posh, yes.
Is that how you spell Caldy?
I don't know.
I think she spelled it wrong.
I think I think that's how there's an extra vowel in it.
Yeah, I think you put an extra vowel in there, Revo. Not that I'm picking.
Is this north of the Watford Gap?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, only just. I'll show you a nice picture. Should we bang it on?
Yeah, put that on. Let's have a look. You see,
cut this up.
Look,
right.
Yes. Now look how. Oh, that's not that picturesque, but it's.
Why does it always want me to add them to my home screen?
Yes, because why not?
Why on earth would I want
the Liverpool Echo
as my home screen?
It's a brilliant newspaper, only second to the Sun, which is very popular in this area.
Yeah. Caldy is a bit posh.
Yes.
Sorry, you can't see that. I've gone full screen.
Oh, right. That's an area shape of Birkenhead and Wallasey, so that's where we are. In fact, on that shot, you can. Let's see. That's the vent.
Well,
for
isn't this near your neck of the woods?
Yeah, that's right near me. That's what I was wondering whether you could actually see my house. I think probably not quite, but I'm sort of down the bottom left of the.
Here.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Aren't I? Is that right? I may have got.
I don't think you're quite.
No.
This is more Birkenhead.
That's Birkenhead. I'm further. I'm that way, but further.
You're probably over here near.
Yeah. I'm not in that picture at all.
Go on.
Yeah. So anyway, that's. I would have said that that's a good shot, but that's not the posh bit, is it?
No, that's Birkenhead.
Yeah. Okay. Taken in 2002. Lovely.
Right. Should we go down to
3 towns in Wirral are ranked in the top 10 most desirable places to live in England.
Yeah.
Bebington, CH63 is ranked as the most desirable postcode in England, with Eastham, CH62 ranked as the 8th, and Wallasey, CH45 as the 9th, according to the Royal Mail.
Absolutely.
Wallasey is a desirable place to live.
Okay, let's have a look. Right, Bebington.
I never thought I'd say those words.
Right, Bebington. So, Malk's come back. Yeah, he's this neck of the woods. Good man. So, Bebington's the other side of the M53. No, it's not. It's this side, isn't it? It is this side of the 53, actually. Yeah. So, where those who come from not the Wirral. In fact, let me grab a map up.
Yeah, let's look at them.
Might be easier to do that.
The Wirral is a desirable place, in that, in general, people don't leave. Not that they can't leave. It's not that people get trapped here. Once they've got used to the lifestyle here, they don't want to leave.
So let's just zoom in it from a map perspective. So here's Liverpool, Manchester, London down here. Everyone knows where they are, right? As we zoom into here towards Liverpool,
Before I moved here, I never heard of it.
This is the Wirral, which is a peninsula. Okay, so and this motorway here, the M53, basically cuts it right down the middle. All right, so everything east of the M53, and there's Bebington, there's Wallasey, and New Brighton. This is where we're close.
Well,
to.
Wallasey is that triangle on the pit, which used to be, it's sort of an island, isn't it?
Kind of, and there are nice bits of Wallasey, and there are other parts.
Are nice bits, yeah.
There are other parts of Wallasey.
Yes,
all right.
That's correct.
This side, on the other hand, and this is where Dave's from. He's over on the nice side.
That's
and this
the posh
side,
bit. That's the bit I was saying.
They have. I think it might even be an 11-year difference in lifespan.
Yeah, it's certainly
people.
10. It might be 11. You're right.
Yeah, 11-year lifespan difference on this side of the peninsula as we do on this side.
So and the side you're on now, the side opposite Liverpool, is of course
nothing wrong with Birkenhead. He's right. There's nothing wrong with Birkenhead.
No. It's the old industrial area. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, look at it. This is the Mersey. This is Liverpool. Obviously, renowned for it being shipping. You know, and Birkenhead's the same.
But is it posh? I mean, the thing is in parts is I suppose the right answer. But if you look at Seacombe, I live near St Paul's Church, one of the churches which I'm vicar, and that's it's called Seacombe. Yes, you can see that next to the tunnel. That's not a bridge over the Mersey, as shown there. That's a tunnel. I know, this is for people who aren't from around here, but around that area is one of the poorest areas in the country. It's in the, I suppose, bottom 5% in terms of poverty in all the different characteristics. Unemployment and health and also finances. The whole thing. It's where? It's Seacombe. Seacombe. This area.
Where you live, yeah.
And Birkenhead as well. So it's basically next to each other. Birkenhead is also very, very poor. So that's a real poor area, and that's where I live. So I'm surrounded by people who would say it's not particularly posh around here. Not that the people, this is not. It's not a comment on the people. You live with the hand you're dealt with, don't you? But it is. I wouldn't say it's a posh area or a desirable place. So it's interesting. If you lived in Seacombe and someone said Wallasey is one of the top 10 places to live in, you think, what?
Yeah. So we live up just the other side of Liskeard. So again, here's Bebington that I was talking about. Port Sunlight is quite a picturesque place if you've ever looked it up. So Port Sunlight, Sunlight Soap, Lever Hume. That's where that is. So it's very industrial up this side of the peninsula.
Yeah.
And this is, I would say that this probably was more agricultural in the past.
Yes.
But it's not so much anymore.
Yeah.
And there's Eastham, which was one of the other places that was in the list of great places to be.
Yeah.
Bevington, what was the other one? Oh no, I've had enough of him. Bevington, Wallasey.
It says here Warrington at the bottom.
Oh, Warrington, yeah. Well, Warrington isn't
further
far.
over, isn't it? Where is Warrington?
Warrington is... There's Widnes. Hang on. Manchester. Warrington's here.
Okay, yeah.
There's Warrington. This is probably for the likes of Kate, Trevor, and the Carey Spig. Yeah. So this is our little neck of the woods. This is where Wallasey is. Yes. Wallasey. This is where we are broadcasting from.
Yeah, until I moved here, I was living in London. Until I moved here, I sort of in my mind saw Wales, Liverpool.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
there's something in between.
Look, here is Wales, Wrexham. This is Wales isn't it? So we, as a peninsula, when we pick up terrestrial TV, we pick up BBC Wales on this side of the peninsula. Yeah, it picks up BBC Wales rather than BBC England. On this side, I think it's sort of normal.
And of course, in Wallasey itself, they spoke, going back in time, a form of Welsh. It was literally, it was.
Isn't it Little Wales?
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. It's a Welsh, because Welsh in Old English meant foreigner. So the foreigners who were pushed to the left by the Angles, who took over the place, they existed on the far reaches. So over the other side of the hills, what became Offa's Dyke in Wales, what we now call Wales, and Wallasey over Well, I mean, there was some water, wasn't there, spitting off Wallasey, as I was saying, it was almost an island. But it was the sort of marshland that spit it off was dredged to form docks. So that's the situation we're in now.
And out of all of us that work for Wallasey Unleashed, I am the only person that was born in Wallasey.
Congratulations. Yes. Homegrown.
Absolutely. And come home. Yeah.
Homegrown,
I've been
home.
all over the place, me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't sound too much
So
like
is
I've
it,
got
well,
a Scouse
it's not
accent.
parts of it are posh, but it is generally
Yeah,
a
it's
good place to
interesting.
live.
That report that you said that Bevington is one of the most, or is the most sought out place in the country, I found very difficult to believe. Of all the places in the country, but I read that report, I think that you might be quoting from.
Yes.
I don't know where they've got this. When was the date on this thing? March 2015.
Yes.
So it probably was about that time that Bevington was one of the most sought after postcodes in the country. I didn't believe it then, and I still don't believe it now.
Yes. But the Liverpool Echo believes.
I live in New Ferry, but church in Birkenhead. New Ferry. So I used to live in Tranmere for a bit.
Yeah, New Ferry.
Yeah.
It's further along. It's a similar sort of place to Birkenhead, isn't it?
So I was Tranmere, Rock Ferry way, and New Ferry's more Bevington way, isn't it? Yeah. So
Rock Ferry is home to one of our friends in the broadcasting industry, old Flame Radio there at Rock Ferry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where Flame Radio is, which is something we'll leave off another thing.
Yes.
But yeah, interesting thing. But yeah, so where are we talking about here? Eastern Bromborough, Port Sunlight. There's New Ferry.
Yeah. So our channel's Wallasey Unleashed. So look, we've introduced Wallasey.
There's Tranmere. That's where I was.
Into this
Prenton,
video.
Woodchurch, our big hospital. This is where, believe it or not, do you remember when the first COVID people came back from China? That's Arrow Park Hospital, which is where they sent them all.
That's where they put them, yeah.
Is it about? And we had all the coaches.
We were keeping the rest of you safe.
Yeah,
we didn't do very well.
In Liverpool, we
didn't do very well because it's spread across the whole country.
Not from Wallasey, I had nothing to do with that, I think. But Liverpool's got a big what's the phrase called? It's exotic diseases and something.
Oh, it has, yes. It's part of the university, yes.
Yeah, there's something in there.
Yeah, tropical diseases.
Yeah, it's a tropical diseases centre and stuff like that. So I think that might have something to do with the fact that Arrow Park was used for it. But, look at it. We're surrounded by a lovely coast, yeah? Mm-hmm. And it's strangely, because it's a peninsula as well, it seems to get slightly better weather.
Yeah. It's mild weather. I mean, it's mild. It is... Yeah, where I am, next to the river, there is a big problem. The problem with the air quality. It's just due to the industry over in Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yes, most of it, just where the wind blows, I happen to be, and St Paul's Church that I mentioned as well, is in direct line of the wind that's blown over the waste disposal units on the edge.
But you're right. It's industrial, and one of the things I find.
As soon as you get out of that area,
one of the things I find is
out on the coast,
that this main dock road, when you get this is what's called the Birkenhead Tunnel, and this is what's called the Wallasey Tunnel that take you into the city.
Yes.
I work over here somewhere. So when I'm working, I go through the Wallasey Tunnel because I'm over this way. As you can see, there's a dot up there with me. Mm-hmm. Everywhere I seem to go, like Vape Shop number 1, where I get my vape and where my house is and stuff, is there. But this main road here, this is called the Dock Road, which runs, along the Mersey, going north up towards Crosby and things like that. It's all industrial there, so it stinks. We are, unfortunately, although the view that you can see behind us, in the main, output that you guys are seeing, that's a picture of Liverpool. That's what we've got, a nighttime picture of Liverpool, and the actual image behind Pete's Head is the Liver building. So there's two Liver birds on there. We thought we should get a picture of the Wallasey, or should we get a picture of Liverpool? Well, actually, you can't be in Wallasey if you're looking at it, so we thought we'd have to be in Wallasey looking at Liverpool.
This is the view that you would see. So,
but if you go that way, if you go that way, about, I don't know, this same whole image, about 2 over, you see massive cranes, and there's a lot of scrap metal places.
Yes,
and a lot of
that's right.
recycling.
They burn the
centres.
refuse, and hence my
So
scrap metal.
There's a lot that way.
Problems.
There's a lot that way of stuff, and then as you go
actually coming from London, one of the things you notice about Liverpool, because you can see looking across the river, you see the whole centre of Liverpool stretched out. I think that's really small.
In fact,
having come from London, you think that. Yeah.
Let's just drop a little dude here.
Yeah,
not right on the tunnel, I think, but let's drop him there.
Oh, there he is. Oh,
probably miles away. Oh, right, okay.
Oh, you're right by the town hall.
So there's a town hall in Wallasey. I don't know if we can get up here.
Let's go to where I'm going to be doing my running on the steps. Can you get round to the steps? It won't let you through, will it?
I wonder if I can get down.
Yeah, took my dog for a walk there this morning.
Go. Right, there you go. There's the town hall. Can I move that round?
Oh, yeah, very good, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
So there's Liverpool. I don't know if we're going to do this whole... That's kind of the shot there.
Yeah.
Of what we're seeing.
The Mersey looks really brown there, doesn't it?
It looks that brown in normal life. But over here is all the industrial sides. Yeah. And then if you go right further, this is that long edge up.
Yeah.
The peninsula. Yeah. There you go. There's the peninsula as you can see it. I wonder if I can do that. There you go.
You moved away now.
I'm just trying to. Oh, have I really gone that far?
Yes.
Oh, I have. There it is.
Yeah.
Really? Is that the D? Is this?
Oh, it is, but it's
because it's
showing it without the water.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And the same with the Mersey.
That is a peninsula there, and of course then you get into.
Really, it has water in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Mersey, New Brighton, Wallasey, Birkenhead. There'll be New Ferry.
So that's and it's the funny thing about it. I know you locals will think it's just a strange shape. Wallasey is a triangle, isn't it? It's the top corner of the world. And so there are parts that say you go to one place, I go to another place another day. I think I've gone in different directions, opposite directions, and I find they're next door to each other. I'm often finding that. I just find it so confusing.
How do I get back? I can never remember how to get back to.
So I think that's all we've got for our conversations for this time. We do have another one, but we can roll that over.
Yeah, we'll roll that over. How are we doing? 3 hours and 1 minute. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yes, good.
And we've got 35 people watching us, Pete.
Yeah.
No, that's a lie.
Oh.
We've had a very stable 12.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased with that.
Very stable geniuses.
Every town, village. Hang on, let's just bring chat back in to finish up on then. Hang on.
No, if people have been with us the whole time, then that's
absolutely.
Great. And we'll gradually build on the audience.
Yeah. I live in New Ferry, but church in Birkenhead. Yeah, cool. Must have been a response. I said something. Every town, village, or place has good and bad sides.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But it's interesting, when I looked up coming here to Wallasey, I can't remember where I looked it up. There was a sort of a review in different places, and there was people, just a whole load of reviews all laying into Wallasey and how terrible it was, but even more for Birkenhead, saying how awful it was. So some people had an axe to grind. So it's interesting though, because you can get your view on something just by what people say. When you come here, you think, is it like that? And there are things that people who live here don't notice as well about the place.
Well, the only thing I'll say, I mean,
both good and bad.
I used to be in an IT background, and one of my favourite places in the country is Dorset. And I might have had this conversation before. And I always dreamt of having a little small holding in Dorset, and it was a bit of a pipe dream. But when I came back to Wallasey, there was something about that, because I've been kind of around the country over the last 20, 30 years. And when I came back to Wallasey, I did actually think, I feel like I've come home. I really did feel like I've come home. And it's not an uncommon thing for people born in Wallasey to come back 30 years later.
Hello, Beryl.
That's what I've heard. Hey, Beryl. You turned up. Have you just turned up at the end?
Yeah, comes to say hi.
Oh, mate. Or have you been here for hours and just said hi?
Yeah, maybe.
Good to see you, Beryl.
If you've missed it, go back and watch it.
It's a good show tonight, I think. Well, I don't know. Chat will tell you if it's any good or not.
You can always fast forward to the boring bits.
The boring bits.
But there's some interesting bits. Yeah. I think, particularly in the latter half, we promised to do something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think for me I did have that feeling coming home. I do like where Reva and I live. And you've listened.
So
cool. So I do like where we live, and I do like the potential ministry we've both got set in front of us. I'm very excited about A lot of it being online and stuff, both the church side and the community side, which is what Wallasey Unleashed is all driven for.
Yeah.
I appreciate the comment more. Trisha's dropped some amazing comments tonight. It's very focused, very balanced. You're right. Everything in life has good and bad sides to it.
Yeah.
Everything. And ultimately, trying to find the balance between them is the art, isn't it? It's trying to find out what's the balance, which is the right thing in life. And everything needs a balance, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've saved the world, Al. Once again.
We have. Yeah, I think we have. But how could we have done it without chat? So, tomorrow I will set up a group, Wallasey Unleashed.
Yes.
Wallasey Unleashed, which I will...
yeah, that's a good
absolutely.
point. You can miss things if you don't take.
It's a fantastic place.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic place. Geographically, it's a fantastic place.
Yes.
I think there's been a lot of things. I mean, when I left New Brighton in the first instance, it was in 1981. Yeah, so I came back to the Wirral probably 2012. I think I came back to the Wirral 2012, and I moved back to Wallasey properly. What are we now? 2021, 2018, 2019. So that's when I was proper back to where we are. And there are fabulous places geographically. There's been places where New Brighton looked like a falling to bits town then. There's been a lot of reinvestment there.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. There's a lot of the swimming pool that was there, the outdoor thing. There's been built up of cinemas and all this sort of stuff. So there's been investment. And I know that there's a big project, and perhaps Malcolm put some stuff about this on at some point, but there's a big project for some big work to go on in Birkenhead. There's going to be a big reinvestment or big investment process that's been kicking around for a few years.
I'd heard that,
So it'd be interesting to see what happens there, because I do think that places just get neglected, and they do get neglected, and especially when you're coming from something which is industrial like these areas. These areas aren't like the other side of the Wirral, They're dimensions apart, aren't they? Everyone over there is middle class, and doctors and surgeons and all this sort of stuff, and everyone over this side.
You're right, though. There is meant to be a lot of investment. So when we see it, we'll...
we'll share
maybe
it.
We'll feature it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, right, shall we bid everyone good night?
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Yes, it's been great to speak to you. I think I'll roll out with our intro, as I normally do. Tell you what I might do. Maybe I'll create an outro. That might be good.
Yeah.
So what?
Don't strain yourself.
No. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
As always,
Bye-bye.
a pleasure.
See you next week.